Chapter 23:34. Qin Yun was not surprised by the arrival of the Divine Sky Race's Emperor and the Heaven Sword Marquis. Shun Changhao and the others were still in the Nine Yang Sacred Palace. The Divine Sky Race's Emperor would definitely come to redeem them. If they continued to stay in the Nine Yang Sacred Palace, and the Nine Yang Sacred Palace was besieged, Shun Changhao and the others would have to go out and repel the enemies. The Divine Sky Race's people were very happy and surprised that their emperor would come. What they did not expect the most was that the Divine Sky Race's emperor had destroyed a few of their stars. The Divine Star Race's people were also angry because the Divine Sky Race's emperor did not give them any face and directly destroyed their stars. Those stars were very important to the Divine Star Race. Not only would it affect the formation's power, it would also take a lot of time and energy to create a few similar stars in the future. The Divine Star Marquis shouted with a trace of anger. Divine Sky Race's Emperor, what is the meaning of this? Our Divine Star Race has no grudges with you. We attacked the Nine Yang Sacred Palace several times and never fought with Marquis Changhao. Who do you think you are? You dare to speak to our Emperor like this? The Heaven Sword Marquis's voice was accompanied by a sharp sword aura. His eyes flashed with a sharp light, causing the Divine Star Marquis to tremble in fear. Divine Sky Race, do you want to stop us from attacking the Nine Yang Sacred Palace? You should know the hatred between us and the Nine Yang Sacred Palace. Do you want to shed all pretense of cordiality by doing this? The Divine Star Marquis felt that their Divine Star Race was not bad. With the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor, they were very strong. Then you should also know that our Marquis Changhao wants to protect the Nine Yang Sacred Palace. The Heaven Sword Marquis sneered. If you attack the Nine Yang Sacred Palace, you will become enemies with our Divine Sky Race. In the past, the Divine Sky Race's Marquis had always avoided this question. His attitude was ambiguous, and he did not clearly state that he would help Marquis Changhao protect the Nine Yang Sacred Palace. Now, the Heaven Sword Marquis's attitude explained everything. Qin Yun despised the Divine Sky Race in his heart. The reason why the Celestial Sword Wangjue dared to say such a thing was because the Divine Star Race's The Arch had already been destroyed. He also knew that Qin Yun had broken the 10-image demon curse and had become very strong. The Divine Sky Race wanted to curry favor with him. Looks like your Celestial Race is tough enough. You're not afraid of the Celestial Star Race, or the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. The Marquis of the God Star Race laughed coldly. Although he was a Marquis, he was facing a King Ju and a king. He was still very strong. This was mainly because he felt that the Celestial Star Race was not weak, and they had the support of the Nine Heavens Demon Race. Now, he even brought out the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. Sky Sword Wangjue burst out laughing. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor? Your Divine Star Race is a powerful race, but you're lowering your head to the Nine Heavens Demon Race. Celestial Sword Wangjue, don't you know how powerful the Nine Heavens Demon Race is? As a king, you should know the strength of the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor better than me. The Marquis of the Divine Star Race laughed heartily. Look at how strong you are. If the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor were to make a move, he would beat you to your knees in less than 3 moves. Not just you, but you. The Arch of the Divine Sky Race won't last more than a few moves. The dignified Divine Star Race is now a lackey of someone else, yet you still feel superior. Sky Sword Wangjue sneered a few times, then said sternly, Divine Star Race, quickly withdraw your stars and scram from this place. The Marquis of the Divine Star Race said mockingly, Are you serious? You want to become enemies with the Divine Star Race for the Nine Yang Temple trash? That's right, your Marquis Changhao has to protect the Nine Yang Temple trash, so it's normal that you want to protect them. But then again, Marquis Changhao and the others lost to these small fries. That's why they're protecting the Temple of Nine Yang. But you kings and clan emperors want to help the Temple of Nine Yang? What a bunch of fools. Being called trash, the Nine Yang Temple's side immediately became unhappy. Qin Yun gently raised his hand, indicating for Dragon Hall and Sword Hall to calm down. Qin Yun watched quietly. He wanted to see how far the Divine Sky race could go. I will count to 10. If you don't withdraw your stars, we will attack. Sky Sword Wangjue said very seriously. You're serious? You are not afraid of our Divine Star race, joining hands with the 9 Heaven Demon race for revenge? The Divine Star race Marquis suddenly panicked. Sky Sword Wangjue ignored him and started counting. The Divine Star race still thinks that the Divine Sky race does not dare to attack. Very soon, Sky Sword Wangjue finished counting to 10. Just as he finished counting, the Divine Sky Race Emperor struck the sky with his palm. Golden divine power surged in the sky. The huge stars above the Nine-Yang Temple were instantly enveloped by the golden divine power. The current in the sky is very tyrannical, emitting a burst of intense whistling sound. After the golden divine power disappeared, the stars also disappeared. The hundreds of huge stars seemed to have melted, turned into energy, and disappeared in the sky. The Divine Sky race really destroyed the Divine Star race's stars. Even Shun Changhao and the others did not dare to believe that their race emperor actually wanted to protect the Nine-Yang Temple. In their eyes, it was not worth it at all. Your Divine Sky race. Just wait for the Divine Star race, the Divine Sword race, the Primal Chaos race, and the 9 Heavens Demon race to join hands for revenge. The Marquis of the Divine Star race shouted with a cold expression. Ha ha! Sky Sword Wangjue laughed loudly. It seems that you do not know what happened in the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. What? What happened? The Divine Star race Marquis' expression suddenly sank. He recalled what Qinyan said before. The 3 race emperors and the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor are already dead, and they were killed by Qinyan. No one believed it at the scene, but now, seeing the Divine Sky race's actions, they somewhat believed it. No, impossible. The 3 race emperors and the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor are so powerful. Even if the Nine-Yang Palace King broke the curse of the 10 images, he would not be able to kill them. The Divine Star race Marquis shouted. Let's go. In 3 days, our Divine Star race will move out and flatten the Nine-Yang Temple. Wait, Sky Sword Wangjue shouted. What are you doing? You destroyed our star, and now you want us to stay? The Divine Star race Marquis still did not believe that the Divine Star race's emperor would be killed by Qinyan. Let me do it. The Divine Sky race's emperor's calm voice came, but his aura was majestic as it pressed down on the Divine Star race Marquis. Suddenly, the Divine Sky race's emperor flew out and charged towards the hundreds of Divine Star race people. Sky Sword Wangjue followed closely behind. The Divine Star race and the Nine-Yang Temple people were shocked. The Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue actually attacked together to kill the Divine Star race people. The Divine Star race people were also very strong, but in front of the Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue, they could not withstand a single blow. At this moment, the Divine Star race people only felt fear. Just as the Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue were about to attack, Qinyan suddenly appeared in front of them. Qinyan raised his arm to block the Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue. His arm felt a hoo sound. A very strong divine power surged out and sent the Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue flying back. Nine-Yang Temple King Yu, the Divine Sky race's emperor, asked doubtfully. He was secretly shocked. He could feel that Qinyan's divine power was very strong, and his strength was unfathomable. Seeing the powerful Divine Sky race's emperor and Sky Sword Wangjue being sent flying by Qinyan, everyone present was extremely shocked. That was the Divine Sky race's emperor, and he was flying with all his strength, but he was easily sent flying by someone. Shun Changhao and Shun Ruoming could not believe their eyes. Especially Shun Ruoming, he began to doubt his life. Not long ago, his strength was above Qinyan's. But now, Qinyan's strength was actually the same as the race emperor's. The race emperor was the strongest person in a strong race. When the Divine Star people saw the Divine Sky race's emperor rushing over, they were already scared out of their wits. But when they saw what Qinyan did just now, they were scared out of their wits. Qin Yun's strength was already the same as the race emperor's. This meant that he had the power to kill the race emperor. This meant that what he had said about the divine Yang, celestial island, was true. After Murong Darren recovered from his shock, he chuckled and said, "We can't let the heavenly sword duke and the divine sky race's imperial capital act like this. Brother Yun is a palace king. He has to be the one to get rid of the divine star race's trash." Marquis Changhao came to the celestial sword Marquis and asked, "Marquis, is the Nine Heavens demon monarch really dead?" "They're all dead. Their heads were cut off by the Nine Yang Palace King as a sacrifice to the heavens." Sky Sword Wang Jue was still shocked when he spoke of this. The head of the mighty Nine Heavens demon emperor was actually twisted off his body. Just imagining such a scene was enough to shock everyone. The divine star race took advantage of my absence to attack the Nine Yang divine palace time and time again. I must do it myself, so I won't trouble the two of you. Also, I don't want to owe you anything," Qin Yun said calmly as he glanced at the divine sky, the arch. It could be said that he didn't even look at the divine sky, the arch. The divine star race was in a complete panic. The Nine Heavens demon emperor was dead. The Nine Heavens demon race was nothing. The divine star race, divine sword race, and primal chaos race's race emperors, kings, and dukes are all dead. It can be said that these three powerful races have been uprooted. The divine star race people floated in the air and looked at the calm Qin Yun. Their hearts were filled with extreme fear. Qin Yun's calm and endless killing intent caused them to feel the most oppressive. The divine sky, the arch, and the celestial sword Wang Jue also knew that Qin Yun was keeping his distance from them. They could only sigh in their hearts. No one dared to breathe. They all looked at Qin Yun, wanting to know how the Palace King was going to kill the divine star race people. A black whirlpool suddenly appeared in the sky above the divine star race people. The black whirlpool descended, enveloped the hundreds of people, and began to spin. The extremely strong gravity and berserk suction force sucked the hundreds of people into the center of the whirlpool and squeezed them. Noisy screams rang out one after another, as if hundreds of people were being tortured at the same time. In the blink of an eye, the hundreds of people were squeezed into a black ball the size of a fist. This scene caused everyone's scalp to go numb. Qin Yun held two of his fingers together and tapped lightly. He struck out with his finger force and landed on the black ball. The heavenly explosion finger power hit the black ball and shattered it, causing a violent gale to surge out. Chapter 23:35. The divine star race had besieged the Nine Yang divine palace several times before, but their losses were not too great. Moreover, their strength was still very strong compared to the Nine Yang divine palace. But now, Qin Yun, with just a few moves, turned those several hundred people into a ball and then blew them up. This is the strength of a peak expert with outstanding strength. Everyone present, including the divine sky race emperor, gasped in admiration. This kind of strength has already surpassed those race emperors. Even if many race emperors joined hands to besiege him, they would not necessarily be able to defeat Qin Yun. The divine star race has lost a large group of people with good strength. The entire divine star race is almost finished. Among the strong races, the kings and dukes are the most powerful group of people after the race emperor. It can be said that they're the backbone of the strong races. Divine star race, divine sword race, and primal chaos race. Their kings, dukes, and race emperors have all been exterminated. It can be said that it is almost the same as extermination of their race. Even if these three races still have resources, they will soon be squeezed dry by the other races. Now, it is an environment where the weak are prey to the strong. The other races will not be lenient to a declining race like the divine star race. Even if Qin Yun is the only one in the Nine Yang divine palace who can fight, they are now completely on par with those strong races. There is superpower that cannot be underestimated. Even the divine sky race's the arch was very polite to Qin Yun. "Palace King, let's step aside and talk," the divine sky race emperor said in a very calm tone. The race emperor of a strong race is actually very humble in front of Qin Yun. Everyone can see that the Divine Sky race's strongest old man is trembling with fear in front of the Nine Yang Palace King. Let's talk here, Qin Yun said. Everyone can feel from Qin Yun's tone that he is not giving any face to the Divine Sky Race Emperor. Clearly, there has been some conflict between them before. The Divine Sky Race youngsters are all very unhappy, but they do not dare to say a word. Previously, they thought that Qin Yun was trapped by the 10 images and could not become stronger, so they were full of disdain towards the Nine Yang Palace King. But now, not only has the Nine Yang Palace King broken the curse of the 10 images, he has also become extremely powerful. 3 race emperors have been killed, and even the powerful Nine Heavens Demon Emperor has had his head twisted off by Qin Yun. With this kind of valiant strength, he can easily exterminate a strong race. Therefore, even the Divine Sky Race's the Arch didn't dare speak loudly to Qin Yun. Previously, the Celestial Sword Wang Ye of the Divine Sky clan came to discuss the termination of the contract with the Hall King. The Divine Sky Race's emperor could only talk with Qin Yun here. He had a gentle smile on his face as he said, "Palace King, you said that you wanted 100 Divine Universe Goldstones before you were willing to dissolve the contract, right?" He needed 100 Divine Universe Goldstones to dissolve that contract. This made Shen Changhao and Shen Ruoming want to curse, but they didn't dare to speak. They could only wink at Sky Sword Wangjue, indicating that he shouldn't agree to it. Even they themselves believed that they weren't worth 100 Divine Universe Metal Stones. That was a long time ago. Anyone who had done business knew that prices could change at any time. Back then, we were talking about 100 Divine Universe Goldstones. Now that so much time has passed, I feel that 150 Divine Universe Goldstones is more suitable. Qin Yun had previously given the nameless old man 100 Divine Universe Goldstones. He felt that now was the best time to recover his blood. Shen Changhao almost shouted out loud, but he forced himself to swallow it back. The Qin Yun before them is incomparably powerful. If he is not happy, he can twist off their emperor's head and make them cry heartbroken. Nine Yang Divine Palace's people giggled as they watched. They loved to see their palace king take advantage of others the most. Qin Yun's strength is so formidable that he once again brought the Nine Yang Divine Palace to a new peak. 150, all right, the Divine Sky Race's emperor said with frown. Deal. Emperor, Shen Changhao wanted to say something, but the Divine Sky Race's emperor waved his hand, indicating that he doesn't need to say anything. The Divine Sky Race's emperor wants to redeem these young geniuses mainly to bring them to the ancestral godson to cultivate. Now talents are the most important. The Divine Sky Race's emperor wants to nurture more experts as soon as possible so that their Divine Sky Race can establish a foothold in the Divine Desolate. The Divine Sky Race's emperor understands the situation in the Divine Desolate more than anyone else. At the beginning of the Divine World, they need to have enough strength to seize the initiative. Otherwise, if they fall behind, they will be beaten up and even their entire race will be exterminated. Qin Yun and the Divine Sky Race's emperor traded and canceled the contract. He also obtained 150 Divine Universe Golden Stones. Shen Changhao and the others can finally leave the Nine Yang Divine Palace, but they feel very uncomfortable because their losses are too great. Everyone has worked hard to protect the Nine Yang Divine Palace during this period of time. Go back and rest well. Qin Yun's loud and clear voice reverberated all around the Nine Yang Divine Palace. The people of the Nine Yang Divine Palace exclaimed in admiration at Qin Yun's strength and returned to the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Along the way, they cheered and laughed. After Qin Yun returned to the Nine Yang Divine Palace, he found the elders and told them to call over the disciples with outstanding performance during this period of time. Then he carved runes suitable for those disciples, strengthened their martial spirits and souls, and even gave them a few pointers. There are more than 100 selected disciples. With Qin Yun's help, their strength has increased by a lot. As long as their cultivation breaks through in the future, they will definitely become experts of a region. After Qin Yun finished busying himself, several days passed. And in these few days, the matter of the divine sun heavenly island gradually spread. Before the third myriad realm's divine sun came out, such a big matter actually happened in the divine sun heavenly island. When they heard this news, many people couldn't believe it was true. The nine heavens demon emperor who caused the divine desolate to panic a while ago was actually beheaded by the nine yang palace king. One of the three race emperors was killed, two were sacrificed to the heavens, and the kings and dukes of the strong races were defeated by Qin Yun alone. The nine heavens demon races, demon noble and demon general, were also crushed to death, suffering the pain of their souls scattering. This one person's strength can shake four super strong races. It can be said that in the divine desolate region, Qin Yun is an overlord. The matter of the nine heavens divine race inside the myriad realms divine sun is also known by many people. The mysterious veil of the myriad realms divine sun has finally been lifted a bit. Many details of what happened in the divine sun heavenly island have been spread. For example, the heavenly universe divine sun and primal chaos divine sun were taken away by Qin Yun. The strong races joined forces with the nine heavens demon race and the nine heavens divine race to set up a trap to capture the divine moon race's heavenly sacrifice, and so on. In these few days, the people in the Nine Yang Palace also know the reason why Qin Yun did not give the divine sky race emperor a good look. Through various details, everyone knows that the divine desolate, this new powerful divine world, is probably the best and largest divine world in the nine heavens with the richest resources. This means that it might attract experts from other powerful divine worlds to come and fight for supremacy. If this is true, then it won't be long before other powerful forces from the divine world appear. Many people were curious as to whether or not there were any other super powerful beings in the ever-expanding God's desolate world. In addition, for the divine desolate to grow into a powerful divine world, it is obvious that there is something hidden in the great desolate, and it must be related to the nine suns. There are nine myriad realms divine suns, and now that the third one has appeared, many major events have already happened. What will happen if all nine divine suns appear? No one knows. After the beings in the divine desolate received all kinds of news, they only know that the great desolate is at the beginning of a great era. There will be great waves everywhere, and waves of bloodshed will definitely come. Only by becoming stronger would one be able to stand firm amidst the turbulent waves and survive in the chaotic battles. Before the third myriad realm's divine sun appeared, it triggered a great war, causing the decline of three powerful races and the death of the nine heavens demon race's demon emperor. And the storm is not over, it is only the beginning, because the nine heavens divine race inside the myriad realms divine sun is preparing to fight for the right to occupy the third myriad realms divine Sunday. This will definitely be a great war. Qin Yun learned of this matter and is also planning. After Xiao Yuelan returned to the Nanyang Palace, she began to contact the Guanghan Palace. She also successfully passed on a message to Yu Shangyun. Qin Yun wants to discuss with Yu Shangyun about joining forces to fight for the third myriad realm's divine Sunday. As for whether or not it will succeed, it will depend on whether or not Yu Shangyun is willing. Yu Shangyun has not responded yet. Xiao Yuelan only contacted the Guanghan Palace's little phoenix and asked her to pass on a message. Qin Yun patiently waited in the Nanyang Palace. Without waiting for Yu Shangyun's reply, the Three-Eye King arrived. The Three-Eye King from the Three-Eye Divine World, the people of his Three-Eye Heavenly City, all have three eyes. Their overall strength is also quite strong. Other than those powerful races, there are the people from Three-Eye Heavenly City, White Sun Heavenly City, and Golden Wing Divine World. The Nine Sun Royal Family's overall strength is also increasing. Perhaps when the fourth myriad realm's divine sun appears, the Nine Sun Royal Family's strength will be comparable to the powerful races. As for the Heaven Creation Divine Palace's strength, Qin Yun is still unclear. He has to find Palace Master Yu Tian and ask. Although the Three-Eye King has many eyes, his mouth is also very powerful, especially when it comes to bragging. In addition, he is the Three-Eye King, so everyone thinks that he is very strong. Now, many people believe that he is on the same level as those race emperors, or even a bit stronger than those powerful races. The Three-Eye King's strength is not weak, just a bit weaker than the race emperor. To be able to make many people mistakenly think that he is stronger than the race emperor, this shows his ability to brag. Furthermore, his relationship with Qin Yun is not bad. This can let him brag a bit and raise himself up. Qin Yun called the Three-Eye King to the Heavenly Palace Pavilion. The Three-Eye King is wearing a scholarly white robe. His face is filled with a modest smile and said, "Big Brother Qin, I haven't seen you for that long, and you already ripped off the head of the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. You are faster than I expected. Speak, why did you come to find me? Don't tell me that you came to find me to brag." Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. No, I really have important matters." The Three-Eye King took out two very large blue crystal pearls and said with smile, "Big Brother Qin, these are the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearls I obtained. These two are very big. I will give one to you." Back then, the Three-Eye King felt extremely pained when he swindled the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearls that he obtained after so many years. But now he actually obtained two big ones so quickly. This made Qin Yun very surprised. Back then, Qin Yun obtained the Heavenly Universe Fire Curse from the Three-Eye King's Inheritance Pearls, which allowed him to pass through many difficulties. And the Heavenly Universe Fire Curse will also be very useful in the future. "How did you get it?" Qin Yun asked curiously. Chapter 23:36. After the blue sky dome exploded, a large number of Heavenly Law inheritances were scattered in the gods desolate. If one was lucky, one could obtain those Heavenly Law inheritances. There were two types of Heavenly Law inheritances. One was sealed in a pearl by the Heavenly Law and was very difficult to take out. The other type was unsealed, and one could directly obtain the Heavenly Dharma legacy. If it were anyone else who had obtained the Heavenly Law inheritance bead and was unable to retrieve the Heavenly Law inheritance within, they could only worry helplessly. Three-Eye King's luck is pretty good. He knows Qin Yun, so he can find Qin Yun to break the Heavenly Dharma seal. At that moment, Qin Yun was looking at the Heavenly Dharma inheritance bead. The Three-Eye King's third eye was rather powerful. If he said that the item inside was rather special, it was definitely true. Under normal circumstances, the Heavenly Law inheritance bead mainly contains Heavenly Law divine runes or spiritual bodies. However, the Heavenly Law inheritance bead doesn't seem to contain those things, but something substantial, the Three-Eyed King said. And it is indeed not a rune nor a soul body. Qin Yun nodded. The three Heavenly Dharma inheritance beads he had previously opened were mainly inscription-type inheritances. Next was the Heavenly Dharma Heart Soul. Qin Yun, who possessed the Heavenly Law Heart Spirit, could control all kinds of Heavenly Law divine runes more freely. It could be said to be something similar to the inscription spirit. And the inscription spirit allows an inscription master to become more proficient in the corresponding runes. The Heavenly Law Heart Spirit allows people to master all kinds of Heavenly Law inheritances. The Heavenly Law inheritance is not only about runes, there are also other cultivation methods, and so on. Qin Yun said, "There is something inside, give it to me." Three-Eye King previously said that he would give one to Qin Yun, and he readily agreed to it. Qin Yun took Three-Eyed King's Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl and helped him open the other one. With Qin Yun's current strength, he could quickly suppress or devour the Heavenly Law Inheritance bead's energy after opening it. He did not need to use the Nine Dragons' Heavenly Origin Array like before. It was much easier for him to break through the Heavenly Dharma Inheritance. Not long after, he successfully helped the Three-Eyed King break open the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl. Sealed within the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl was a soul body. When the soul body ran out, it immediately burrowed into the Three-Eyed King's third eye. The Three-Eyed King immediately cried out and quickly covered his third eye. It was obvious that he was in great pain. Qin Yun hastily went over and probed Three-Eye King's current situation. He sensed that his soul is being entangled by a blue energy. He is very curious as to what kind of soul body is it. How can it be so powerful? The three-eyed king wasn't weak, and his soul was also very strong. However, he was injured by that soul body. If he did, his soul body dharma, king's soul body, king, spirit king's soul body. The three-eyed king screamed in pain for a while, and his condition gradually stabilized. When his third eye opened, it looked like a sapphire. The scare of the eye was a translucent blue crystal, and the pupil was a dark blue pearl. This eye has spirit essence of spirit energy. King, eye of spirit, king of that spirit. Soul body, king. Pearl, king spirit, king of pearl, king. Spirit body, king. What kind of soul body is it? Qin Yin said with smile. Rest assured, I won't steal it from you. Three-eyed king slightly frowned. He touched the eye on his forehead and said, that is a soul body with an inheritance. That soul body has some memories from above the 9 heavens. What memories? Qin Yun asked. Let's wait and see. King's expression became grave. He can tell with a glance that these memories are very important. Moreover, they indicate that something big is about to happen. King controlled his third eye. It suddenly flickered with intense blue light. A light rushed out of his eye and transformed into a small golden blue snake. This small golden blue snake has no physical body. It is a soul body that can easily penetrate through many things. I can see many things through this small snake. King said with mischievous smile. Hall King, take out the heavenly law inheritance pearl. I want to see whether or not I can clearly see what is inside. All right. Qin Yin promptly took out the heavenly law inheritance pearl. Just like before, the three-eyed king shot out a small snake from his third eye. The small snake smoothly entered the heavenly law inheritance bead. There's a seed inside. King said, there are many small granules inside. They should be seeds. I don't know what kind of seeds they are. If they are seeds of medicinal ingredients, they will surely be very useful. After all, they are inside the heavenly law inheritance pearl, and it is not small at all. I will open it again in a while. Oh, that's right, King. Are you sure that the thing that entered your third eye is a soul body? Qin Yin wants to confirm again. It is a pure soul body. There is no heavenly law divine rune. King nodded. Qin Yin also hopes to obtain this ability of King. If it is a soul body, he can let Xiao Yuanmei duplicate it and then refine it again. Qin Yin immediately contacted the young palace spirit through mental power sound transmission and told him to inform Guanghan Palace that if Xiao Yuanmei comes back, she should quickly come over. Tell me about the soul body's memories, Qin Yin said. This will allow him to understand more about above the 9 heavens, because not long from now, he will have to face the formidable 9 heavens. The 9 heavens divine race inside myriad realms divine sun came from above the 9 heavens, but they are not the strongest. They only sent people to observe the evolution of the 9 suns. Above the 9 heavens, it is not as good as we imagined. King seems to have received a great shock after receiving the memories. I only heard that above the 9 heavens is like hell. Qin Yin has never been there, so he cannot imagine what kind of environment it is. It is indeed like hell, but above the 9 heavens is the strongest divine world. King shook his head. In any case, I will not go to that kind of place. What is so terrifying about it? Qin Yin asked. Our place is divided into righteous and evil, but there is no such division above the 9 heavens. In divine desolate, there are still many righteous factions who joined hands to fight against evil and devil factions. So there is some order. King said. There is no such thing above the 9 heavens. Qin Yin is still unable to imagine what kind of place it is. For example, above the 9 heavens, eating people can increase one's strength. Capturing people and refining them into man pills, this is very normal. No one will oppose it, and no one will receive any punishment. Or use all kinds of vicious, bloody, and brutal methods to cultivate. Even if they use this kind of method to cultivate, they will not cultivate evil power, on the contrary, will be very pure and powerful. When King mentioned this matter, his three views are also greatly impacted. Because in the orderly divine world, if one uses this kind of method to harm people's lives to cultivate, they will become evil and devil. The evil and devil power cultivated is very unstable, very berserk. It can cause evil and devil to accidentally self-destruct. It can be considered a kind of punishment. But above the 9 heavens, there is no such thing. Qin now also knows why Yu Shangyun has no nostalgia for above the 9 heavens. Tian Daozi and Yu Shangyun both said that there is no order above the 9 heavens. Qin now understands a bit. He cannot help but think of the 9 heavens demon race. 9 heavens demon race is a race that eats people. In 9 heavens divine races, Elder Zhao and others, as well as Jiang Jiuquan, all feel that using divine moon races' female sacrifice to the heavens is a very normal matter. Above the 9 heavens, the only thing that can anger the law is stealing the heavenly universe divine sun's seed. That is why the 9 heavens demon emperor was sealed. Qin is starting to worry that those people above the 9 heavens will come to divine desolate. If they turn divine desolate into the 9 heavens, then this place will become hell. Palace King, we need to unite. We can't let those people from the 9 heavens do whatever they want in divine desolate. Divine desolate is a very good divine world. It will definitely become the strongest divine world in the future. King said. Qin nodded and said, "And you should properly arrange 3 a heavenly city. It would be best if it is close to our 9 yang divine palace. We can take care of each other." 9 sun royal races' few big cities are also near 9 yang divine palace. Because Yushi is the 9 sun divine maiden and has the 9 yang emperor sword, all the big shots of the other clans acknowledge her as the clan empress. Back then, Yushi helped the 9 sun royal race become stronger, so she is very experienced in this aspect. Furthermore, she is now the clan empress. She leads the entire 9 sun royal race, so she has even higher prestige. Palace King, I will go back and make arrangements first. 3i King obtained the heavenly law inheritance. Not only can he shoot out small snakes from his eyes, he also has very strong battle strength. This can allow him to fight against 9 heavens divine demons. He also wants to have a good time in divine desolate in the future, so he must unite. After 3i King left, Qin began opening the heavenly law inheritance pearl. There are quite a few seeds inside. Because the heavenly law inheritance pearl is filled with seeds, Qin is worried that these seeds are very fragile, so he very carefully opened it and took out 5 small seeds. These 5 seeds look like 5 different color gems. They are flickering with faint light. What kind of divine medicine seed is this? Plant it and let's see. Just as Qin is about to plant it, the young palace spirit informed him that Bai Suxin has arrived. Bai Suxin also has heavenly law heart spirit. She guided those women in Guanghan Palace to comprehend heavenly law inheritance and made great progress. This is what Yang Shuriyue and Xiao Yuelan told her. Bai Suxin is still outside the 9 Yang Divine Palace. She was teleported to an elegant small hall inside the heavenly palace pavilion by the young palace spirit. "My little queen, why are you still wearing a mask?" Qin said with mischievous smile. Inside the small hall, there's a graceful woman wearing a mask. She is wearing a blue skirt. Her white hair reaches her waist. "Xiao Yun, my heavenly law heart spirit has changed. I am worried that it is a bad change." Bai Suxin suddenly turned her back to Qin and said with somewhat worried voice, "What is it?" Qin hugged the beautiful and delicate fragrance queen from behind and kissed her earlobe. He also placed his hand on Bai Suxin's heart to sense the heavenly law heart spirit. Chapter 23:37. Bai Suxin had also heard about Qin Yun's situation in Vast Cold Palace. When she learned that Qin Yun had broken the curse of the 10 statues, she was incredibly happy. But not long after she was happy, she sensed that her heavenly law soul had gone through a strange change. Qin placed his hand over Bai Suxin's chest. He could feel a wave of heat. Every time her heart beat, it would release waves of hot air. Bai Suxin took off her mask. Her gentle and beautiful face was filled with melancholy. When she turned her head around to look at Qin Yun, her beautiful eyes, which were filled with worry, were still as charming as ever. Little Yin, what's going on with me? Bai Suxin was very worried. Heavenly Law Soul is very important to me. I don't want to lose it. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Qin Yin had Bai Suxin turn around so that they faced each other. Bai Suxin gently pulled open her clothes. Qin Yin saw that her snow-white chest was shining with a faint blue light. Her heart was shining with a powerful blue light. That light even seeped out of her skin. At that moment, Qin Yin suddenly had a strange feeling. The heart in his heavenly imperial heart seemed to be beating at the same frequency as Bai Suxin's heart. Suxin, touch my chest. Qin Yin grabbed her lily-white hand and placed it on his chest. Bai Suxin had only just touched it when her mouth opened slightly. She cried out in surprise, you're the same as me. I think I understand what's going on now. Qin Yin suddenly hugged Bai Suxin. They stuck close to each other so that their chests were facing each other. What's going on? Bai Suxin only knew that Qin Yun's heavenly law soul had also changed. Our heavenly law souls are a pair. We can affect each other. Qin Yun hugged Bai Suxin's soft body tightly and caressed her smooth and fine white hair. He smiled. Is it because my heavenly law soul has changed that it's affecting you? Will it harm you? Bai Suxin still did not understand what was going on. It's because my heart has changed. That's why it's affecting your heart. Your heavenly law soul is strengthening your heart. Qin Yun picked up Bai Suxin by the waist and walked to a chair so that Bai Suxin could sit on his lap. Bai Suxin knew that Qin Yun had broken the curse of the 10 statues and became very powerful. Furthermore, he was in the sacred god realm, so it was normal for his heart to become stronger. Qin Yun had first obtained the heart of imperial heaven, so his heart had clearly become stronger. Later on, he broke the 10-image fiend curse and cultivated his heavenly body to the phenomenal success stage. His heart naturally improved once again. The heavenly law soul in his heart was a pair with Bai Suxin's heavenly law soul. After Qin Yin returned to the 9-yang divine palace, his heavenly law heart soul began to sense Bai Suxin's heavenly law heart soul. That's why Bai Suxin's heavenly law heart soul changed. Then, I won't have to worry. A beautiful smile appeared on Bai Suxin's pretty and alluring face. The White Sun Duke, who was domineering in White Sun Heaven City, looked exceptionally alluring and charming at this moment. Qin Yin can't help but kiss her charming little mouth. Bai Suxin also became infatuated. Both of them tightly hugged each other. They can feel each other's heart beating intensely. Xiao Yun, my white sun has not cultivated with your nether sun for a long time. Bai Suxin and Qin Yun kissed for a while, and then leaned on Qin Yun's bosom in satisfaction. During this joint cultivation, I might be able to help you break through. Qin Yun's nether sun is very powerful now. He brought Bai Suxin to a rather large secret room. After entering the secret room, Qin Yun released a sacred tribulation gate. The sacred tribulation gate opened. Formidable nether sun aura surged out violently, causing Bai Suxin's expression to change in fright. This, so strong. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes are filled with smile. She seems to be very happy as she said, very good, I should be able to enter Dao God Realm very soon. Bai Suxin had been practicing a strange white sun, which was why her breakthrough had been delayed. That white sun is very powerful. It is very difficult for a woman to cultivate it. Now, with Qin Yun's help, she can make white sun stronger even faster. Once Bai Suxin breaks through, her strength will also become very strong, maybe even stronger than Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun's strength is because she has cultivated Divine Moon and Myriad Heaven's Divine Moon. And Bai Suxin can borrow the divine power of Myriad Realm's Divine Sun by relying on White Divine Sun. Her strength is not inferior to Yu Shangyun. Bai Suxin released her White Sun into the Sacred Tribulation Gate and let it fuse with Nether Sun to cultivate. At this time, Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, I also have little Nether Sun. My little Nether Sun can also cultivate with you. Qin Yun immediately released Ling Yuner. Bai Suxin saw Ling Yuner and realized that she is a spirit cultivated by Qin Yun. She saw Xian Rujing and Yang Shiryu as spirits before, as well as Xiao Yuelan's rogue son fairy Yu Shaoling. Knowing that Ling Yuner has a little nether son, Bai Suxin is very happy. Because two nether sons can help her white son cultivate, it can make her white son improve even faster. After Ling Yuner came out, she wanted to do something to Bai Suxin, but was blocked by Qin Yun. Ling Yuner can only pull Bai Suxin's small hand or touch her face. Although Bai Suxin looks like a delicate and charming woman, she is after all Duke White's son. She is experienced and knowledgeable. She can see that Ling Yuner is also a bad little fairy. Bai Suxin is very skilled in dealing with this kind of little fairy. She actually turned around and took advantage of Ling Yuner. It must be known that Qin Yun was taken advantage of by Suxin many times before. Later on, every time Qin Yun saw Bai Suxin, he would take the initiative to prevent her from taking advantage of him. It can be seen that under Duke White's son's delicate and gentle appearance, there is a domineering queen's heart. Qin Yun watched from the side as Bai Suxin, the little queen, bullied Ling Yuner, the rogue spirit. He felt very satisfied. Before, Ling Yuner was always thinking about Bai Suxin and wanted to take advantage of Bai Suxin. She didn't expect that her rogue spirit would fail miserably. She was actually bullied by the naughty little queen to the point of begging for mercy. Big sister Suxin, you're so bad. I admit defeat, okay? Ling Yuner spat lightly and said with a smile, I know my wrongs. I won't dare to have any ideas about you anymore. Bai Suxin kissed Ling Yuner's lovely and charming face and said with a smile, Great beauty, Yuner. You are as bad as Yu Shaoling. I like girls like you. It's fun to bully you. Ling Yuner looked at Bai Suxin with hidden bitterness, then rolled her eyes at the grinning Qin Yun and said with slight annoyance, Xiao Yun, why aren't you coming over to help me? Your little fairy has been bullied by the little queen. Bai Suxin smiled and hugged Ling Yuner. Then, she poked her belly button and tickled her, causing her to giggle incessantly. Qin Yun also took the opportunity to go over and pinch Ling Yuner's body a few times to feel the spirit body he created. I'm going to be called Yuelan. Ling Yuner laughed incessantly and shouted delicately. Xiao Yuelan is still in the Nine Yang Divine Palace. She died together with Bai. Who knows why she is sticking to this petite and exquisite white tiger general manager. While Ling Yuner and Bai Suxin are playing around, the sacred tribulation gate suddenly trembled. The gate was violently jolted open and burst out with intense white light. Bai Yang has evolved, Bai Suxin very excitedly said. Big sister Suxin, congratulations. You are about to break through. Ling Yuner said with smile, and then took the opportunity to kiss Bai Suxin's face. Bai Suxin's Bai Yang flew out of the sacred tribulation gate and returned to her body. When it entered her entire body immediately ignited with white flame, burning her clothes to the point of vaporizing them. Seeing this scene, Ling Yuner is very excited. Qin Yun is frowning. He is somewhat worried that something unexpected will happen to Bai Suxin while she is breaking through. Because after Bai Yang entered Bai Suxin's body, the temperature became very high. A very strong power burst out and unceasingly attacked Bai Suxin's heart. Qin Yun and Bai Suxin's heart are connected by heavenly law heart-soul, so they can sense each other. He can now sense that Bai Suxin's heart is being filled with powerful energy. Moreover, the temperature is rising rapidly. Suxin, how are you? Qin Yun suddenly shouted. I can hold on. Bai Suxin gritted her teeth and said, I will definitely be able to endure this trial. I have waited for this day for a very long time. Now Bai Suxin's brows are filled with a strong and arrogant aura. She revealed the domineering aura of a queen. Her entire person seems to have become even more valiant, giving people a feeling of arrogance and might. Ling Yuner also began to worry because Bai Suxin's breakthrough is clearly different from others. Bai Suxin cultivated Bai Yang. After making Bai Yang stronger, she let Bai Yang influence her body and soul to break through and become stronger. If her body and soul cannot endure it, she might be destroyed by Bai Yang. Qin Yun and Ling Yuner both know that Nether Sun is the same. It requires a powerful body to be able to endure Nether Sun's explosive power. Qin Yun wanted to go over and help, but was stopped by Bai Suxin. Xiao Yun, I can do it, Bai Suxin shouted solemnly. She's also worried that Bai Yang's strength will affect Qin Yun. If you can't endure it, you must call me. Qin Yun walked over to Bai Suxin and stood in front of her. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes are filled with solemnity. They are filled with an invisible, imposing manner. She nodded at Qin Yun and said, "Don't worry. Qin Yun and Ling Yuner are prepared. They can intervene at any time and suppress the powerful Bai Yang." Half a day later, the white sun divine flame seeping out of Bai Suxin's body gradually weakened. Her body temperature dropped. Her body is transforming. It can be seen that under the flame, her body is as white as jade. It is filled with a kind of sacred white light. Her body has a natural Tao charm. It made her look even more beautiful and moving. Xiao Yun catch! Bai Suxin suddenly shouted and spat out a ball of white light from her mouth. When Qin Yun saw the white light ball, he can't help but shout in alarm. Sun seed. He hurriedly took out a bead and sealed the Yang seed in it. This is Bai Yang's sun seed. It's for you to create Bai Yang. Bai Suxin laughed heartily, then took out a robe and put it on. Chapter 23:38. Bai Suxin pinched Ling Yuner's face and said to Qin Yun, "Later, when you want to create white sun, just call me. I will do my best to help you. My understanding of white sun is not enough. There is no rush to start now." Qin Yun said, while preserving white sun's sun seed. White sun is very strong. Even I don't know much about white Sunday. I will need to continuously dig out white sun's potential. Bai Suxin said with smile. Xiao Yun, thank you very much. You helped me break my devil curse. A devil curse? Qin Yun cannot help but smile. Bai Suxin is very hard to break. She is indeed troubled by devil curse. Big sister Suxin, how are you going to thank Xiao Yun? Ling Yuner laughed mischievously. You, what kind of nonsense are you thinking again? Bai Suxin scolded with smile, then vigorously pinched Ling Yuner's butt, causing Ling Yuner to let out a delicate cry. Ling Yuner said with smile, Big sister Suxin, my little nether sun and your white sun have undergone a great transformation. It seems like it has become a lot stronger. I also want to thank you. Do you want me to repay you with my body? All right. Bai Suxin giggled and said, then extended her hand to grab Ling Yuner. Dragon Claw. Xiao Yun, quickly help me block her Dragon Claw. Ling Yuner arrived behind Qin Yun with delicate smile and said in low voice, Xiao Yun, I will go back to cultivate. I won't disturb your deep discussion. Hee. Qin Yun rubbed her face with smile and let her return to the tribulation gate. Qin Yun's illusory space also has a sacred tribulation gate. Ling Yuner is now inside that tribulation gate. This bad elf is even more mischievous than Yu Shaoling. Bai Suxin shook her head and smiled. Her phoenix eyes are filled with charm. Her expression is as tender as water. She looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, Xiao Yun, thank you very much. She gracefully moved and arrived in front of Qin Yun. She hugged Qin Yun's waist and said with a smile, I am also very strong now. You think you can bully me just because you broke through? Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, then kissed little Queen's lips. Both of them deeply embraced and kissed. After a while, Qin Yun and Bai Suxin left the secret room and arrived at an elegant small hall. Qin Yun took out the fruit wine Xian Rujing gave him and poured it for Bai Suxin to drink. When Bai Suxin smelled the fragrance of the wine, she smiled and said, This is Rujing's wine. We are good sisters in vast cold palace. Oh, then did she say a lot of bad things about me to you? Said Qin Yun with a smile. She told me to guard against your dragon claw. She also said that if you bully me, I'll bite you. Bai Suxin could not help but giggle coquettishly. Young Yin, you used dragon claw on me last time. If I had known, I would have bitten you. Is Sister Rujing cultivating in Moon Palace? I miss her very much. Qin Yun also very much misses Xian Rujing. the cold, elegant, and gentle ice goddess. Xian Rujing once lost her emotional thread. Then her emotional thread was reborn for Qin Yun. After she obtained the heavenly law inheritance, she went to the myriad world's divine court. Her heavenly technique inheritance is the cosmic frost curse, and I helped her master it. Bai Suxin said, "She misses you quite a bit, but the divine court of myriad worlds has an urgent matter. That's why she has to go." "How is she doing? What kind of might does it have?" Qin Yun curiously asked. "You will know when you see her," Bai Suxin said with smile. Before, Star God had to help 9 Yang Divine Palace resist Divine Star Race, and also fight against Fire God. Then, after Qin Yun killed Divine Star Race, Star God hastily bid farewell to Qin Yun and left. He indeed has an urgent matter to attend to. "Don't worry." Bai Suxin patted the back of Qin Yun's hand gently and asked, "Little Yun, I heard a rumor in Vast Cold Palace. It says that if you want to break the 10-image demonic curse, you will need Big Sis Shang Yun's help. How did she help you fuse with the Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin?" "I'm also not too clear. In short, I was in a daze at that time. She used a secret method and helped me fuse with it. Later she told me that she was not sure whether I could fuse with it or not. She sent Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin into my body and then went out to fight against enemies," Qin Yun said. "So that's how it is." Bai Suxin's eyes flickered. It can be seen that she knows a lot of things, for example, the matter of cultivating sun and Moon Heart Sutra's 3rd level. Now, the upper echelons of Moon Palace are in an uproar, saying that Qin Yun and Yu Shang Yun cultivated sun and Moon Heart Sutra's 3rd level together. However, Qin Yun and Yu Shang Yun did not answer. As for whether it is true or not, they can't ask for the truth, because even Xiao Yuelon and Yang Shuriwei, Qin Yun's answer is no. "Suxin, is your relationship with Divine Moon Clan's Emperor very good?" Qin Yun asked. He deliberately said Divine Moon Clan's Emperor to let people know that his relationship with Yu Shang Yun is ordinary. "She came to find me a few times. On one hand, she thanked me for helping her little sister grasp the heavenly law inheritance. On the other hand, she asked about my cultivation situation. She really wants to help me become stronger," Bai Suxin said with a warm smile. "I can feel that she is very good to me. I like her very much." Qin Yun also knows about Yu Shang Yun's clan's experience above the 9 heavens. Therefore, she is very united with her clan's sisters. Only by doing so can they avoid all kinds of calamities. Otherwise, Yu Shang Yun would not have sacrificed so much to help Qin Yun fuse with Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin. Divine Moon Clan will face all kinds of calamities in the future. Bai Suxin is very strong, and she is also a woman. Naturally, she is also someone Yu Shang Yun wants to rope in. Then did she talk about me? Qin Yun somewhat wants to know how Yu Shang Yun evaluated him in front of other women. She said that she is very grateful to you. She will send Feng Yu to bring generous gifts to you. Bai Suxin tightly held his hand again and said, "Xiao Yun, I also want to thank you on behalf of Sister Shang Yun. If she lost so many sisters, she would definitely die of grief." "No need. Back then, the people who were going to be sacrificed to the heavens included my beloved big sister Yang and second sister," Qin Yun said. "I absolutely can't let them be harmed. I've also seen your big sister Yang. She's very beautiful." Bai Suxin smiled tenderly and said, "I even let my Bai Yang cultivate with her divine moon. It feels pretty good." "Then will there be any changes to her divine moon?" Qin Yun also has nether moon and divine moon. He also wants to give it a try. "I don't know for now. She is very busy. Let's try a few more times, then there will be some progress." "Oh, that's right. I also met a little beauty. Her name is Nangong Shiru. She has a little girl called Xiao Kaifeng. She came to me and asked me to help her plant a tree with Bai Yang." Bai Suxin said, "Plant a tree?" Qin Yun suddenly recalled that he once asked Nangong Shiru to plant a sun god tree. Last time he saw Nangong Shiru, he learned that the tree has already grown 2 divine fruits, small fruits that look exactly like the sun. I saw that tree. There are 3 fruits. Those fruits are the same as the sun. They're called sun god tree. She said that you gave her those seeds. I extracted white sun divine power from my Baiyang, condensed it into liquid, and gave it to her. Bai Suxin said. 3 fruits? Qin Yun asked. Suxin, did you discover anything about that tree? Not yet. The fruits are not ripe yet. Bai Suxin shook her head. At this time, Qin Yun suddenly recalled the seeds inside the heavenly law inheritance pearl. There were 5 seeds in the inheritance pearl given to him by the three-eyed king, and he hadn't started planting them yet. He hastily planted them inside the 9-sun divine soul and asked Mo, and Little Ant Queen to take care of it. While Qin Yun is paying attention to the inside of the 9-sun divine soul, he discovered that Space God's communication talisman is trembling. He promptly took it out and received the message from Space God. After receiving the message, his expression slightly changed. Xiao Yun, what is it? Bai Suxin saw Qin Yun's expression and asked. There are people coming down from above the 9th heaven. They are inside the ancestral God's son. Those guys are very strong. Qin Yun sighed softly. What will come will come. Then I must quickly return to Divine Moon. Sister Shang Yun told me that if people from above the 9th heaven come, it will be the next great calamity for Divine Moon Clan. Bai Suxin stood up and said in earnest, Xiao Yun, is this information reliable? The information came from Space God, who is acquainted with the nameless old man. The nameless old man inquired inside the ancestral God's son, then sent the information to Space God, who then sent it to Qin Yun. It should be true. I don't know the exact situation. If I have any new information, I will contact Guanghan Palace. Qin Yun said. All right, I will go back first. My white sun has become stronger. It can make the divine moon Dao images inside their bodies become stronger. I want to help them cultivate. Bai Suxin said. Most of the women of Divine Moon Clan and Guanghan Palace can cultivate divine moon Dao images. They are also very strong Dao images. All right, I will send you out, Qin Yun said. He kissed Bai Suxin and sent her out of the 9-sun divine palace. Then he watched her fly towards Divine Moon. From above the 9-yang divine palace, Qin Yun saw a huge shadow moving in the distance. He focused his attention and saw that it is a huge moving mountain. Heavenly Dao Altar. Qin Yun is slightly startled. Heavenly Dao Altar actually appeared. Last time when Tian Dao Zi was in Divine Sun Heavenly Sea, because he heard the words Pippi Pig, he kicked Qin Yun and sent him flying. Then he took the Heavenly Dao Altar and fled in panic. This time, the Heavenly Dao Altar took the initiative to come over. Clearly something big is going to happen. Just as Qin Yun wanted to go over, he saw Shimin Dazhuang riding a large white pig and flying out of the 9-sun divine palace. The large white pig's speed is very fast. But looks like it is spewing gas. It carried Shimin Dazhuang and rushed towards the Heavenly Dao Altar like a lightning bolt. Qin Yun immediately flew over. Shimin Dazhuang's thin face is filled with excitement. He saw Qin Yun and shouted loudly, Uncle, my master is here, my master is here. He is actually not dead yet, haha. Dazhuang, didn't you hate your master? Qin Yun said with a smile. Then why are you so excited now? Why do you feel like you are seeing your family? I have become stronger now. He is definitely not my opponent. I want to go over and beat him up. If I join hands with Pippi Pig, I will definitely beat him up until he can't take care of himself. Shimin Dazhuang very excitedly laughed and shouted, Pippi Pig, don't talk when you meet him. Just directly fart heavenly wave fart. Consider it a greeting gift to our master. Chapter 23:39. Dazhuang, you have to calm down. It's not easy for your master to be reborn. Qin Yun said with a smile. When we meet, if we don't leave a deep impression on him, he won't be happy. There's no other way. My master is such a person. Shimin Dazhuang laughed and said, Old uncle, don't worry, I won't kill him. Otherwise, life will be a lot less fun. Qin Yun could already see Tian Daozi's miserable appearance. The huge Heavenly Dao Altar slowly approached from the ground. Shimin Dazhuang sat on the back of Naughty Pig and excitedly flew towards the Heavenly Dao Altar. Qin Yun followed closely to prevent Shimin Dazhuang from playing too much. Shimin Dazhuang's naughty pig did indeed have great killing power. When he was in the Shimin family, he often used naughty pig to scold people, causing even his father to want to pinch this unlucky child to death. Seeing Shimin Dazhuang and naughty pig's brilliant smile, Qinyan secretly mourned for Tian Daozi. They were getting closer and closer to the heavenly Dao altar. Shimin Dazhuang and naughty pig suddenly let out a burst of sinister laughter. Hearing that laughter, the advancing heavenly Dao altar suddenly stopped. "Master, are you all right? Your disciple misses you to death," Shimin Dazhuang asked with a smile, and suddenly jumped down from Naughty Pig's back. Naughty Pig, who was in the air, had already turned around but was facing the heavenly Dao altar. On top of the heavenly Dao altar, a bald old man appeared. When Tian Daozi heard the laughter, he knew that Shimin Dazhuang and Naughty Pig had arrived. "Dazhuang, what are you doing?" Tian Daozi saw Naughty Pig's big, but facing him from afar. "If you have something to say, say it. Open fire." Shimin Dazhuang laughed and said, "Master, this is a greeting gift from your disciple. We haven't seen each other for a long time. Now, I'll let you test the strength of your disciple and Naughty Pig." Boom! Naughty Pig let out a fart that was like a blue wave of light. It was obvious that it was very powerful and definitely not a simple fart. Tian Daozi was already cursing in his heart. At the same time, he controlled the barrier to strengthen it. The blue light wave that Naughty Pig shot out was very strong. It actually shook the air and blasted out. It could be seen that over the years, Naughty Pig's strength had also increased, and now he had become a lot stronger. Naughty Pig is an inscription beast. Inscription beasts are all favored by the myriad world's divine sun, so they can all be upgraded. Bang! Naughty Pig's blue beam of light collided with the heavenly Dao altar's enchantment and actually exploded inside the heavenly Dao altar. The blue light wave exploded, and a large amount of grayish-black fog gushed out. One look and one could tell that it was very smelly. "Ah, you bastard, vomit, vomit." The blood-curdling screams of heavenly Daozi resounded as he unceasingly cursed Shimin Dazhuang. Shimin Dazhuang's barbell-like laughter continuously resounded, making heavenly Dao child even more furious. Covered by the black fog, heavenly Daozi screamed and cursed while continuously resisting the poisonous stench. "Naughty Pig, give him a fart that soars to the sky." Shimin Dazhuang laughed. "Dazhuang, that's enough." Qinyan shook his head and smiled. "All right, for old uncle's sake, I'll let it go this time." Shimin Dazhuang was almost used as a sacrifice by heavenly Daozi last time. He is still extremely angry. After the black fog at the top of the heavenly Dao altar dissipated, heavenly Daozi seems to have lost all hope in life. He sat on the altar in dispirited manner, feeling like he wants to cry, but has no tears. "The heavens have no eyes. The heavens have no eyes." Heavenly Daozi raised his head and roared. "Why did the heavens let me accept such a disciple? Master, how can you say that? You should be proud to have such an outstanding disciple like me." Shimin Dazhuang said with a smile. "If the heavens did not open their eyes, how could you accept such an outstanding and handsome disciple like me?" Heavenly Daozi angrily glared at Shimin Dazhuang. Just now, he was almost suffocated to death. When he recalled that smelly fart, he felt that it was a nightmare. Ha ha ha! Shimin Dazhuang approached the heavenly Dao altar and laughed loudly. "Master, you old bald donkey, how come you don't even have eyebrows? You don't even have eyelashes. Haha, you are so ugly." Heavenly Daozi really regretted accepting Shimin Dazhuang as his disciple. "Master, you have me, the world's most handsome disciple. Then you have not lived in vain. Don't worry. I, Shimin Dazhuang, am a person who respects my master and is loyal. Even if your current appearance is so ugly that it can shock the heavens and make ghosts weep, I will never abandon you," Shimin Dazhuang said with awe-inspiring righteousness. He comforted Heavenly Daozi. Heavenly Daozi has the urge to vomit blood and shouted, "You respect your master and respect your master? You can still say that. I I have never seen such a shameless person like you. Master, that move of naughty pig just now is the result of my cultivation. Are you satisfied? Shimin Dezhuang said with mischievous smile. Naughty pig has an even stronger move. Do you want to try it? Scram! Heavenly Daozi really wants to beat Shimin Dezhuang up. I have decided I will stay in the Heavenly Dao altar for a period of time and properly show filial piety to Master. My father doesn't want me anymore. My family despises me. Only Master doesn't despise me and accepted me as your disciple. Shimin Dezhuang suddenly said with sadness, I want to stay in the Heavenly Dao altar and protect Master. Scram! Heavenly Daozi cursed in his heart. If Shimin Dezhuang stays in the Heavenly Dao altar, he will definitely send his master to heaven. I have decided. Shimin Dezhuang looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, Old uncle, I will temporarily stay in the Heavenly Dao altar for a period of time. Don't worry, if the Nine Yang Divine Palace is in trouble, I will definitely help. Nine Yang Divine Palace King, if you take Shimin Dezhuang away, I will give you some benefits. I guarantee that you will be very satisfied. Heavenly Daozi suddenly said. He looked at Qin Yun with a pleading expression. He can see that Shimin Dezhuang is very obedient to Qin Yun. Dezhuang, you stay in the Nine Yang Divine Palace for the time being. Those strong clans will definitely want to get close to our Nine Yang Divine Palace during this period of time. When the time comes, you and Naughty Pig will chase away those annoying fellows. Qin Yun said with smile. All right, I will listen to old uncle. I also hate those strong clans. It's best to let Naughty Pig teach them a lesson. Shimin Dezhuang chuckled and said, Then I will go back first. Shimin Dezhuang rode Naughty Pig and flew away. This pig-riding man has already left an indelible shadow on Heavenly Daozi. In fact, there are many people who have been tricked by Shimin Dezhuang and Naughty Pig. Most of them have the same reaction as Heavenly Daozi. Qin Yun landed on the Heavenly Dao altar. Heavenly Daozi is still cursing Shimin Dezhuang. Heavenly Daozi, what benefits did you give me? Qin Yun said with smile. One who stays with ink is black. Dezhuang was originally a good child. It's all because of you. Heavenly Daozi cursed in a low voice. Benefits, dream on. Qin Yun looked at the place where Shimin Dezhuang disappeared and shouted, Dezhuang, Nine Yang Palace King, what I said just now was just words of anger. There will be no lack of benefits for you. Heavenly Daozi's face is full of smiles. Qin Yun never expected that this fraud would have such a side to him. He said with a smile, Even if Dezhuang goes far away, I can still call him back. I already said that what I said just now was just words of anger. Although Heavenly Daozi said this, he still blamed Qin Yun for leading Shimin Dezhuang astray. I believe you. So, hurry up and take out the benefits you gave me. Qin Yun said with smile. Heavenly Daozi cursed and took out a blue chain and handed it to Qin Yun. He said, This is the heaven sealing chain. If you are not satisfied, then I can only give you my old life. Qin Yun took a look and felt that it was somewhat familiar. He narrowed his eyes and said with smile, This thing once tied me up. There are also runes of the heavenly god sealing restriction on it. Back then, when he was the Nine Yang Palace King, he was also tricked by this thing. After being tied up, he was unable to break free. I've never tied you up before. Back then, the heavenly law divine realm only had an imitation in their hands. It's far inferior to this. Heavenly Daozi said, Take it. This thing has a miraculous effect on those from the Nine Heavens God clan. Oh. Why is there such a miraculous effect? Qin Yun is very curious. Don't worry about it. The effect is very good anyway. The divine power that the fellows from the Nine Heavens God clan control is the Nine Heavens divine power. This heaven sealing chain is specially used to seal the Nine Heavens divine power. Heavenly Daozi said with smile, It's even stronger than the heavenly God sealing restriction. Of course, using the heavenly God sealing restriction to deal with the Nine Heavens divine power is also possible. Qin Yun kept the heaven sealing chain and asked, Heavenly Daozi, why did you come here? I sensed that the Nine Heavens passageway was open for a while. It should be someone from the nine heavens, so I came to tell you, Heavenly Daozi said. Originally, I planned to find Dazhuang and guide him in his cultivation. Now that he's so strong, forget it. Speaking of Shiman Dazhuang, Heavenly Daozi cursed a few more times. Qin Yun asked, Heavenly Daozi, you were once the shopkeeper of the Heavenly Dao pawn shop. Can I ask you about the emoji? Qin Yun originally wanted to ask last time, but Heavenly Daozi ran away without a trace. Emoji. Heavenly Daozi's expression changed. He shook his head and said, I don't know if she's still alive or not. In short, that damned old woman stole a lot of things from the Heavenly Dao pawn shop back then. Qin Yun knew that when MOG was in the Nine Nether Realm, her soul was still there. He felt that it was necessary to ask Netherworld Great Emperor and Cloud Dragon. Netherworld Great Emperor is currently working in the Heavenly Dao pawn shop, and he seems to be in charge of the Nine Nether Realms pawn shop. Nanyang Palace King, I advise you to get rid of all the hair on your body. Heavenly Daozi suddenly said, very seriously. What? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, It won't look good if I get rid of all my hair. Those fellows from the Nine Heavens God Clan have mastered a kind of evil technique. They can use other people's hair to cast curses or sense your whereabouts. They can even control you. Heavenly Daozi rubbed his bald head and said with a smile, I know that the Nine Heavens God Clan is coming. That's why I kept it this way. Heavenly Daozi's perception of danger is very accurate. Shimin Dazhuang's perception of the heavenly monster was taught by Heavenly Daozi. Then I will be on guard against him, Qin Yun said. Chapter 2340. After Qin Yun was tricked by Tian Daozi, he took it to heart. On the way back to the Nine Yang Divine Palace, he kept thinking about how he would deal with Tian Daozi the next time they met. Xiao Yun, Tian Daozi said that the Nine Heaven Divine race has mastered a secret technique that can place a curse on a person's hair. You have to pay more attention. Ling Yun'er warned. For this, Tian Daozi didn't want any hair on his body. It can be seen that the curse of the Nine Heaven Divine race is quite powerful. Don't be afraid. Those are all evil methods. They are useless on me. Qin Yun doesn't care much. What kind of heavenly law has he not seen before? Even the curse of 10 statues can be broken. The curse of a Nine Heaven Divine race is not worth mentioning in his eyes. After returning to the Nine Yang Divine Palace, Qin Yun played with the Heaven Locking Chain in the Heavenly Palace Pavilion. There are people in charge of each hall of the Nine Heaven Divine Palace, so Qin Yun doesn't need to worry too much. He only needs to help those outstanding disciples carve runes or transform their martial spirits from time to time and give them pointers. After the third Myriad Realms Divine Sun appeared, the Nine Yang Divine Palace could absorb the divine power of 3 Myriad Realms Divine Suns. Each hall is filled with dense divine power. The Pill Hall has 2 old friends, Medicine God and Pill God, in charge. They did not return to the Myriad Realms Divine Palace, but stayed in the Nine Yang Divine Palace. It is mainly because Qin Yun's inscription battle technique is very effective when used to plant medicine and refine pills. They want to stay here and learn from Qin Yun. Qin Yun is in a large secret room in the Heavenly Palace Pavilion. He is using the Heaven Locking Chain to bind things and test the power of the Heaven Locking Chain. Tian Daozi said that the Heaven Locking Chain is mainly used to deal with the Nine Heaven Divine race people. Right now, there are no powerful Nine Heaven Divine race people for him to test. Nine Heaven Divine race, people who just arrived in the Divine Desolate, it's best not to provoke me. Although Qin Yun thought so, he is certain that the Nine Heaven Divine race will definitely come to cause trouble for him. Because Elder Zhao was killed, and he has the Heavenly Universe Divine Sun and Divine King Heavenly Seal in his hands. If the Nine Heaven Divine race knew that he has those things with their character, they would definitely want to get their hands on them. The little palace spirit suddenly teleported Xiao Yuelon to the spacious secret room where Qin Yun is. Xiao Yuelon wore a white dress and had her hair combed into a bun. She had the appearance of a gentle and graceful lady. Yuelon, this is not like you, Qin Yun said with a smile and caressed her absolutely beautiful jade-like face. Xiao Yuan came to Qin Yun's side and hugged his arm. She asked sweetly, I heard from the little palace spirit that Sister Sushin came here, right? And she left. She came to cultivate with me. Qin Yun said. Then why didn't you call me? Xiao Yuan bitterly spat. I miss her. She's in the Guanghan Palace. You can go back and find her at any time. Qin Yun said with a smile. Yuan, why are you dressed like this? You look a bit feminine. Oomph. Xiao Yuan pinched Qin Yun and said with an annoyed smile. Little hubby, do you think I didn't have any femininity in the past? You do have the smell of a female gangster. Qin Yun carried Xiao Yuan and came to the hall. The couple began to flirt and then whisper sweet nothings to each other. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan talked about some things. For example, by Sushin's breakthrough, as well as him meeting Tian Daozi and obtaining the heaven sealing chain. Those guys from above the 9 heavens have come down, Xiao Yuan said with slight frown. Those guys are not easy to deal with. I'm worried that they will come here to offer sacrifices to the heavens and then look for divine moon race. Why are they offering sacrifices to the heavens? Qin Yun still doesn't have enough understanding of 9 heavens divine race. They have mastered a secret method to offer sacrifices to the heavens. As long as they offer sacrifices to the heavens, they can obtain some things. For example, some divine weapons, divine tools, or even some pills. Xiao Yuan shook her head. I'm not too sure about the specifics. In short, the things they obtained were all refined from the 9 heavens. Qin Yun is somewhat worried. Divine moon of heavens is so big. If it is attacked, it will be rather dangerous. Yuan, will divine moon of heavens be all right? If anything happens, you must let them contact me. I will definitely take action. Qin Yun said. Don't worry, myriad realms divine sun only appears during the day, and divine moon of heavens only appears at night. As long as it is not attacked by myriad realms divine sun, the defense of divine moon of heavens will be very difficult to break. Xiao Yuan said with a smile. That's good. Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease. Then, he hugged Xiao Yuan and kissed her. After the two kissed for a while, the little palace spirit's somewhat bashful voice sounded. Big brother palace king, divine moon race's Fengyu is here. Of course, the little palace spirit knew that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan were intimate. If it wasn't for something important, she wouldn't have disturbed Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan. Sister Fengyu is here. Is she here to deliver a gift? Xiao Yuan said with a charming smile. Yu Shangyun had previously said that she would send someone to deliver a thank you gift to him. Qin Yun asked the little palace spirit to teleport Fengyu in. In the blink of an eye, Fengyu appeared in the hall. Fengyu is wearing a set of fiery red phoenix feather armor. She looks valiant and formidable. She's also a very strong woman. Palace King, this is a thank you gift from our clan's emperor. Fengyu took out a box and handed it to Qin Yun. What is it? Xiao Yuan arrived beside Fengyu and took the box. Did the divine moon race's emperor mention anything about cooperation? Qin Yun asked. The news that Yuan sent to the Guanghan Palace. The divine moon race's emperor should have already received it, right? After Fengyu sat down, she nodded and said, she has already received it, but she has to consider it because this matter requires a great risk. Furthermore, the 9 heavens places great importance on the divine desolate, so they will send people over one after another. Let her give me an answer as soon as possible. If she doesn't participate, then I can make a plan as soon as possible, Qin Yun said. After Xiao Yuan opened the box, there was a jade bottle inside. She took off the jade bottle's lid and poured out a pill. This is a sacred Tao divine pill. Fengyu said, the sacred God realm requires one to strengthen the great heavenly Tao image and cultivate it into a sacred heavenly Tao image. Eating one pill can allow a great heavenly Tao image to evolve into a sacred heavenly Tao image. Eating one pill can allow one to evolve into a Tao image? Qin Yun said in shock. This kind of pill is very awesome. I've never heard of it before. How would it be refined? I only know that Sister Shangyun refined herself. All of us kings and dukes have eaten this kind of pill. Fengyu said, This kind of pill is very precious. She has to spend a lot of effort to refine it. She knows how to refine pills. And that moon-tier divine pill from before, it was also given to me by her. It's very useful, Qin Yun said with a smile. If there's a chance, I really want to discuss pill techniques with her. Sister Shang Yun's pill refining and inscription techniques are very good. Otherwise, she wouldn't have become our clan's emperor. Feng Yu faintly smiled. Palace King, she's willing to give you these things because she sincerely wants to thank you. Back then, Feng Yu was also on the 5 large ships. She was almost sacrificed to the heavens, so she is very grateful to Qin Yun for saving her. However, she didn't say it out loud because she is also preparing a generous gift for Qin Yun. She knows that Qin Yun is the Nine-Yang Palace King and is very powerful. She can't even give him an ordinary gift. Xiao Yuelon gave the pill to Qin Yun and then left the hall, because the little palace spirit told her that Bai Si had something to ask of her and wanted her help. After Xiao Yuelon left, Feng Yu immediately said in a low voice, Palace King, how did Sister Shang Yun help you fuse with the Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin? Qin Yun said with a smile, Wind Moon King, how do you think she helped me fuse with it? Undress, then hug each other, and then... Feng Yu's face did not even blush when talking about this matter. She stared at Qin Yun and said, Isn't it like this? She said that this is the only way to do it. With your understanding of the Divine Moon, clan's emperor, is she really willing to do this kind of thing? Qin Yun said with a calm smile. In order to save us, she can even throw away her life. It's normal for her to make this kind of sacrifice. Feng Yu sighed. Then do you think that if she really did that, would she still like me now? Qin Yun said with a smile. Under normal circumstances, after this matter, she would probably beat you up or ignore you. But now she gave you such a precious gift. She even said that she would give you sacred Tao divine pills in the future. Feng Yu's pair of phoenix eyes are filled with doubt. She muttered, Could it be that she has fallen in love with you? You're thinking too much. She used another secret technique to help me fuse with the Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin. Qin Yun said with a smile. Really? There's another secret technique? She was very certain that there was only one way. Feng Yu is very doubtful. That's because my situation is special. At that time, I cultivated a very powerful heavenly blood. Qin Yun can only try to deceive her. So it's like that. No wonder she treats you so well. It seems like she's truly grateful to you. Feng Yu no longer suspected anything and laughed heartily. Palace King, nothing happened between you and her. Do you feel regretful? No. I already said that I don't have any other thoughts about her. To be honest, I don't have any feelings for her. Qin Yun chuckled and said, I haven't even seen her face before. On the other hand, you, Wind Moon King, made me feel something. Really? I've always wanted to properly thank you for saving me and my sisters. It's just that I didn't have a gift to give you. You have feelings for me. I think I know how to thank you. Feng Yu suddenly untied her hair. She is wearing a fiery red phoenix feather armor, and her hair is disheveled. She has a different kind of charm. There's no need to thank me. Help me take care of second sister, big sister Yang, and the others in Divine Moon Clan. Qin Yun said with a smile. I also don't dare to accept your thanks. Divine Moon Clan's great emperor will beat me to death. I didn't say I would thank you with my body. Feng Yu giggled. You're thinking too much. Qin Yun cursed a few times in his heart. He never expected that a woman like Feng Yu would be so good at flirting. I'm going back, Feng Yu said with a smile. Palace King, this time it's a bit hasty. Next time when there's a chance, let's have some romance. Qin Yun let the little palace spirit send him and Feng Yu out of the Nine-Yang Divine Palace. A pair of phoenix wings appeared on Feng Yu's back, and she flew towards the sky. These women of the Divine Moon Clan, have they never met a good man like me before? Why are they all like wolves and tigers? Qin Yun stroked his chin, shook his head, and said with a smile, It's better if I stay away from Divine Moon Clan. Otherwise, they will eat me until not even my bones are left. Chapter 23:41. Not only Qin Yin has 10 Tao images, Some of the Tao images he has cultivated are very special. For example, Ling Yin is a very special Tao image. Not only she has become a living fairy, she also has little nether Sunday. What is strange is that even though she has a fairy body, she can still reside in the illusory space of Qin Yun's spiritual world. Now that Qin Yun wants to cultivate, he wants to completely transform great heavenly Tao image into sacred heavenly Tao image. Ling Yun's Tao image is indeed the most suitable one to cultivate. Most people only have 3 Tao images, so they only need to cultivate 3. Even those who are a bit heaven-defying only have 6 or 7. And Qin Yun wants to cultivate 10, so he has to advance 10 times in Sacred God Realm. Although it will cause his breakthrough to be slow, the power he will obtain will be very formidable. Qin Yun's glabella flashed and shot out a golden light. The golden light transformed into a small golden door. It is a small sacred tribulation gate. After the tribulation gate opened, a long-legged fairy wearing light green short skirt walked out. Ling Yin has an extremely fiery body. Her originally delicate and charming face. Because of her extremely charming eyes, from time to time, she has a kind of overflowing, seductive feeling. Ling Yin is floating. Her pair of perfect jade, white long legs look like they are hanging on the ground. Her jade feet are not touching the ground. There's a faint multicolored light lingering around her toes. Her body has an incomparably charming fragrance. She threw herself on a Qin Yun's body, causing Qin Yun to take a few deep breaths. Xiao Yun, quickly eat that pill. We will cultivate Sun and Moon Heart Sutra together. Ling Yun is charming and dependent on people. The pair of sharp elven ears under her hair moved. Her extremely bewitching eyes stared straight at Qin Yun. Her pair of translucent and beautiful fairy wings are also wrapped around Qin Yun's body. What's the rush? I want to study this pill first. Qin Yun said with smile, then pinched Ling Yun's thigh. Xiao Yun, is my leg better, Sister Yang, Sister Star God, and Sister Rujings? Ling Yun asked in a sweet voice. You Xiaoling is better. Qin Yun said with smile. You are so hateful. Ling Yun pouted coquettishly. She liked to compare with you Xiaoling the most. However, Qin Yun said that you Xiaoling's legs were more beautiful than hers. Qin Yun looked at the sacred Tao divine pill and kissed Ling Yun's pouting lips. He said with a smile, Stop messing around. Let me properly study this pill. Ling Yun leaned on Qin Yun's side in a very clingy manner. Her body was soft and fragrant, which made Qin Yun feel quite comfortable. Xiao Yun, how do you think Big Sister Shang Yun treats you right now? She doesn't seem to hate you very much, otherwise she wouldn't have given you this kind of pill. Ling Yun said with a smile. Feng Yu, this wild phoenix also said that Big Sister Shang Yun gave you this pill because she thinks highly of you. Furthermore, she wants to give it to you regularly. Wild Phoenix? If the Wind Moon King finds out, he will definitely beat you up. Qin Yun laughed involuntarily. He also avoided the question about Yu Shang Yun. She won't hit me. She doesn't even have enough time to love me. I'm so cute. I'm so charming and my figure is so good. Even in the Divine Moon race, it's rare. Ling Yun said with a confident smile. Qin Yun is currently studying the composition of the sacred Tao divine pill. He has reached the sacred God realm in 2 lifetimes, so he really wants to obtain a divine pill that can quickly cultivate the sacred heavenly Tao image. However, he has never been able to find it. The pill god and the medicine god have been researching it for many years, but they are still unable to succeed. Yu Shang Yun, the Divine Moon Race's empress, was actually able to create such a pill. This made Qin Yun have a whole new level of respect for this woman. Did you see anything? Ling Yun asked curiously. She used a very special medicinal ingredient, and there's a very strong fragrance on her body. Qin Yun sniffed and said with a frown, and her blood, it seems to be a little similar to the moon tear divine pill. Could it be that her tears were also added? Let me smell it. Ling Yun immediately moved her nose closer. Her beautiful and cute nose trembled as she took a deep breath. She could not help but exclaim, So beautiful. Just smelling this fragrance is already intoxicating. Qin Yun is also greedily sucking in that rich and intoxicating fragrance, causing him to vaguely recall that kind of crazy and wonderful infatuation with Yu Yun. Xiao Yun, Ling Yun shouted a few times. Seeing that Qin Yun did not reply, she pinched him. After Qin Yun came back to his senses, he let out a long sigh with complicated feelings. He said, "This kind of pill is very difficult to refine. Could it be that only she can refine it? Are you really not going to look for her?" Ling Yun felt that it was a pity and faintly sighed. "You can't let her go." "No," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Don't try to lie to me. Although I can't know what you're thinking right now, I can guess." Ling Yun laughed tenderly. "Xiao Yun, you should be a bit more thick-skinned, just like how you treat little Queen Su Exine. That won't do. The Divine Moon Race's Empress will beat me to death." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "Then can you refine this kind of sacred Tao divine pill?" Ling Yun's eyes moved as she said, "Xiao Yun, if you can also refine this kind of pill, she might treat you better." Qin Yun shook his head and said, "It's very difficult to refine." Ling Yun pushed Qin Yun's shoulder and said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, you're not an ordinary person. You also said that it's very difficult to refine, so you can refine it." "I'm not confident." Qin Yun still shook his head. "Refine one and give some to Wild Phoenix and the others. This way, Big Sister Shang Yun will be very curious about how you have so many, and she will take the initiative to look for you." Ling Yun giggled and said, "Let's begin. With the great beauty Yun teaching you how to flirt with girls, you will definitely succeed." Originally, Qin Yun wanted to eat this pill to cultivate, but now he wanted to give it a try and see if he could refine one. He only said that it was very difficult and that he was not confident. It did not mean that it was impossible to refine. "All right." Qin Yun nodded and said, "I'll give it a try." When his nether sun and Bai Suxin's white sun fused together, they evolved the kind of ability that allowed them to duplicate all kinds of energy. At that time, he used this ability to duplicate the Nine Heavens demon race's ability to condense crystals and condense a black crystal black knife. Now, he is very grateful to Bai Suxin's white sun for giving him this ability, because he can use this ability to duplicate all kinds of energy inside the sacred Tao divine pill. After Qin Yun told Ling Yun his thoughts, Ling Yun very happily said with smile, "Sister Suxin is really awesome. Maybe her white sun has even stronger abilities. Next time I see her, I must properly love her." "Aren't you afraid of her dragon claw?" Qin Yun said with smile. "Not afraid." Ling Yun giggled and said, "Let her grab a few times is nothing." Qin Yun first released a ball of Nether Sun Divine Power. Nether Sun Divine Power has the ability to dissolve. It can dissolve sacred Tao Divine Pill into energy. As long as one can accurately control it, they can restore the few kinds of energy needed to refine sacred Tao Divine Pill. Qin Yun's control over Nether Sun has already reached the point of perfection, so this is a very easy matter for him. Very quickly, Qin Yun dissolved several balls of energy. This blue one should be formed from her heavenly blood. Qin Yun looked at the small ball of blue energy and said, "What about this silver one?" Ling Yun asked. "It should be from the divine moon inside her body." Qin Yun said, "What about the white one?" Ling Yun asked again. "The white one might be her tears because there's a very fine liquid inside. Qin Yun can see it with his heavenly eye." "What about this transparent one? It smells so good." Ling Yun wanted to move her nose closer, but Qin Yun promptly pinched her nose. Qin Yun said with smile, "This is the special fragrance on her body. I didn't expect it to also be a kind of energy. It also looks very special. Don't breathe it in. It is needed for pill refining." Ling Yun pouted her small mouth and said, "Xiao Yun, Sister Shang Yun's fragrance is very magical. It can easily captivate people. Just now I couldn't control myself." There are a total of 6 balls of energy. Among them, blue, white, transparent, and silver are from Yu Yun's body. As for the golden and green ones, they're from other areas. Green should be a medicinal ingredient. I don't know what kind of medicinal ingredient it is. As for the golden energy, I don't know. After Qin Yin finished analyzing, he took out 6 pearls and stored the 6 balls of energy inside. Then he placed them inside the nether sun one by one. He used the nether sun to duplicate them. After the duplication, he produced a large amount of similar energy to fill the 6 pearls. The pearls can condense and store a lot of energy. Qin Yin also discovered that while duplicating that kind of energy, his heavenly blood is being consumed very quickly. Previously, the little black saber he condensed was also the same. And now, he is at the sacred god realm. His heavenly body has reached large success, and his heavenly blood is extremely powerful. However, while duplicating that kind of energy, he still feels like his body is being hollowed out. Ling Yun immediately helped him replenish his energy. After Qin Yun stopped, he used White Sun's ability to recover before continuing. During this period of time, Xiao Yuan also came over a few times. When she found out that he wanted to refine pills, she and Ling Yun and Qin Yun cultivated the first level of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra together. It can help him recover quickly. A few days later, Qin Yun finally filled the 6 pearls. How many can you refine? Ling Yun said excitedly. If you can refine a lot, then after you eat it, won't you be able to quickly evolve 10 sacred heavenly Tao images? It's not like that. This kind of pill, the first time you eat it, the effect will gradually weaken. To cultivate the second sacred heavenly Tao image, you might need to eat 2 pills, and the third one will need to eat 4 pills, and so on. Qin Yun said, even so, if you refine a lot of pills, it will be enough for you to evolve 10 sacred heavenly Tao images. Ling Yun said with a smile, it just needs a little time. Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace and controlled the 6 pearls to float around it. He controlled the pearls to transfer the 6 types of energy into it. Xiao Yun, you can also replicate Sister Shan Yun's fragrance, but I feel that it lacks a bit of charm. Maybe it's because you're not a woman. Ling Yun said with a smile. That's something she naturally has. I can't replicate it, so it shouldn't have any effect. Qin Yun said with a smile. Then, he released the 9 altars and used the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to release energy to activate the pill transformation heavenly furnace. It was carried out very skillfully. The pill transformation heavenly furnace quickly condensed a sacred Tao divine pill. It was similar to the previous one. The only difference was the fragrance. The fragrance of the sacred Tao divine pill from before was very special. It could make Qin Yun fall into a state of infatuation. Although the pill he refined now has the same fragrance, it lacks the beautiful charm of infatuation. Chapter 2342. Qin Yun greeted the little palace spirit and told her that he is going into seclusion. He told her that if it is not an important matter, she doesn't need to inform him. This is not the first time he cultivated the sacred heavenly Tao image. He already reached the sacred God realm in 2 lifetimes. However, this life is different from the previous 2 lifetimes. Before, he only cultivated the great heavenly Tao image. There was no sacred tribulation gate. Now, his Tao image has the sacred tribulation gate. Moreover, the Tao images he cultivated are very special. They're very different from the previous ones. Qin Yun and Ling Yun arrived at a very secluded secret room. Xiao Yun, I also learned Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, but I still haven't cultivated the 3rd level with you. The Tao image you want to cultivate now is me. If you cultivate the 3rd level with me, the effect will be very good. Ling Yun, coquettishly said and shook Qin Yun's arm. She has been waiting for this day for a long time. When Qin Yun found out that he has a Tao spirit and a little fairy at that, he never thought that such a day would come. Great beauty in her, I want to say this. Dual cultivation is fine. Don't act recklessly. Qin Yun gently caressed her face and said with smile, wait until we finish cultivating. You can do whatever you want. Got it. Ling Yun sweetly smiled and said. Qin Yun ate the sacred Tao divine pill he refined and secretly sensed the effect of the pill. Ling Yun, this charming and sexy fairy, has already entered the state of mind and started cultivating the third level of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. Qin Yun did not expect that he would use this kind of method to evolve his great heavenly Tao image in a sacred heavenly Tao image. This kind of feeling makes him feel very happy. Ling Yun did not act recklessly. The two of them are very quiet, as if they just had a good sleep. During the dual cultivation, Ling Yun took the lead because she is operating the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. She can guide the medicinal power into her body and help her evolve. Qin Yun hugged this beautiful fairy and caressed her perfect skin. He can feel that her divine power is gradually becoming stronger, and her body is also undergoing a great change. A layer of faint golden light is flowing under Ling Yun's skin. After the joint cultivation, Ling Yun hurriedly entered her sacred tribulation gate and said that she wanted to enter the tribulation gate to evolve. Under Ling Yun's control, the sacred tribulation gate returned to Qin Yun's body. Not long after, Qin Yun suddenly felt an extremely powerful divine power surge out from his mental space. This is the sacred heavenly Tao image's divine power. This sacred heavenly divine power has been strengthened. Qin Yun finally evolved a great heavenly Tao image into a sacred heavenly Tao image. Xiao Yun, it's a success. Ling Yun ran out with a charming smile and threw herself at Qin Yun, kissing him. This is not the first time Qin Yun has faced such wild fairies. Yu Xiaoling was also like this before. The two of them fooled around for a while before entering a world of their own. Qin Yun's feelings for Ling Yun are very unique because Ling Yun can't be considered a real living being. She was originally just a soul body. Later on, with Qin Yun's help, she had her own body. The two of them had a sweet night, and their feelings for each other had changed greatly. In the past, they might have only been soulmates, but now, they could have real contact with each other. Their souls were originally closely connected, and their feelings had long been entwined with each other. Now, their feelings have sublimated to another level. Yin'er, what kind of existence are you? I always feel that you are not a simple Nether Sun Tao spirit. Qin Yun asked. I also don't know. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I only appeared after meeting you. Ling Yin'er laughed softly. Now she seems to have lost some of her mischievousness. She seems even more mature and gentle. After Qin Yun got up, he took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Ling Yin'er also put on her clothes and asked, Xiao Yun, do you want to continue refining pills? I want to see how many pills I need to eat to evolve the second Tao image into sacred heavenly Tao image. Qin Yun spoke as he put on his clothes. He then asked the little temple spirit through telepathy if there was anything going on recently. Nothing happened in the past 2 days. It's just that Xiao Yuan used the 9-yang divine palace to draw in 3 very strong myriad realms divine sun power, causing the 9-yang divine palace's great formation to suddenly strengthen by a lot. Xiao Yuan is now a sacred god. She said before that 9-sun divine maiden has yet to become a Tao god. And to 9-sun divine maiden, becoming a Tao god is a transformation realm. As for what will happen after that, she herself is not very clear. Qin Yun wants to continue refining pills. He wants to cultivate more sacred heavenly Tao images as soon as possible. After he has enough sacred heavenly Tao images, his divine power will become even stronger. When facing powerful Tao God realm experts, it will be even easier. Qin Yun still doesn't know how strong the people from above the 9 heavens are. And the enemies he will face in the future will not only be the 9 heavens divine race from above the 9 heavens, but also the 9 heavens divine demons from the divine demon realm. Furthermore, the divine desolate is so vast. Although it hasn't been developed for a long time, the 3 myriad realms divine suns will from time to time send divine sun opportunities to other places. Living beings who obtain divine sun opportunities will become extremely powerful. Qin Yun had heard about this from the divine presiding judge. Furthermore, after the blue sky exploded, a large amount of inheritance scattered down to the divine desolate. Living beings with good luck can obtain these inheritances and become very strong. The myriad realms divine sun not only takes care of the strong races and the nine sun royal family, it also takes care of other living beings, for example, those inscription beasts. Therefore, many older generation in the divine desolate know that there are many unknown powerful living beings hidden in the divine desolate. Either they haven't come to their region, or they don't want to come, or they're restricted, so they haven't met. While Qin Yun is refining pills, his thoughts are myriad and he thought of many things. Although he is very powerful now, although he can suppress the clan emperors of the strong races, he still doesn't dare to relax his vigilance. He won't feel that he is invincible under the heavens. Therefore, he must always maintain the heart of pursuing the strongest power. Only by doing this can he continuously become stronger and break through his limits. Xiao Yuelon and the others always say that they, the nine sun divine maiden, have the protection of the divine moon of heavens, so there is no need to worry about them. They even said that their duty is to protect Qin Yun. However, Qin Yun doesn't think so. The power that the divine moon of heavens controls is not very strong. It was unable to stop the sacrificial power from the heavens. The divine moon of heavens is simply unable to save the 5 ships being sacrificed to the heavens. It can be seen that in this vast and complex mysterious world, the divine moon of heavens is restrained by some kind of power. Qin Yun's pill refining process is also very easy. He only needs to control the 6 pearls to release energy into the pill transformation heavenly furnace, and then control the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation to release energy, making the pill transformation heavenly furnace operate. The difficult part is to duplicate the 6 kinds of special energy inside the 6 pearls. The consumption is very great. It will take several days. After these 6 pearls are filled with energy, I can refine a total of 6 pills. Qin Yun estimated. The pill transformation heavenly furnace very quickly refined 1 pill. Qin Yun plans to cultivate the divine hammer Tao image first. The divine hammer Tao image becoming stronger will allow him to erupt with even stronger power when using the 9 sun divine hammer. 9 sun divine hammer can be used to fight. It can also be used to forge weapons. It has many uses. Furthermore, the 9 sun divine hammer has fused with a set of heavenly law divine runes. It is very effective against 9 heavens divine demons. Qin Yun ate the pill and began refining it. After refining, he discovered that he would need to eat 2 more pills to cultivate the 2nd sacred heavenly Tao image. To cultivate the 2nd sacred heavenly Tao image, I need to eat 3 sacred Tao divine pills. Then when I cultivate the 3rd sacred heavenly Tao image, wouldn't I need 6 pills? Qin Yun plans to refine a bit more in one go. Xiao Yun, when cultivating other sacred heavenly Tao images, cultivating Sun and Moonheart Sutra won't have much effect. Ling Yun lightly sighed and said, otherwise, it would be even faster. When cultivating Ling Yun's Tao image, because of her special situation, it was very effective. It's fine, I can refine a lot of pills anyway, it's just a bit hard. Compared to other people, I can be considered very fast and relaxed. Qin Yun said with a smile. Qin Yun very quickly refined for more pills. Only a small portion of the energy inside the 6 pearls remains. He wants to keep a little bit to duplicate. Just as he guessed, he can refine a total of 6 pills. After Qin Yun ate 2 sacred Tao divine pills and refined them, he did not make the divine hammer Tao image evolve in a sacred heavenly Tao image. Strange, it is clearly enough. Why can't it evolve? Qin Yun said with frown. Yun'er, when I cultivate you, why is it so fast? This might require an opportunity to evolve. When you cultivate me, you and I are cultivating together. To me, that is an opportunity, so I smoothly evolved. Ling Yun said with smile. Opportunity? What kind of opportunity does the divine hammer Tao image need? Qin Yun finds it very strange because when he cultivated before, he did not have so many things. Generally speaking, it requires the divine hammer to unleash its limit, and then trigger an opportunity to evolve. Ling Yun said, "Anyway, this is what I comprehended when I evolved." Qin Yun remembers that after Ling Yun finished cultivating with him, she ran back to the Sacred Tribulation Gate. After a while, she finished evolving. Maybe she wanted to go inside and comprehend. After thinking for a while, Qin Yun suddenly realized something and said, "I understand. I need to use the Divine Hammer Tao image more often. After my Divine Hammer Tao image became the Great Heavenly Tao image, I haven't used it much. Now that I want to become the Sacred Heavenly Tao image, this Divine Hammer Tao image has not experienced anything." Indeed, Ling Yun nodded and said, "The other Tao images are also the same. All right, next, I will use the Divine Hammer Tao image to fight or do other things." Qin Yun summoned the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer and placed the Divine Hammer Tao image inside it. The Nine-Sun Divine Hammer suddenly shook. It seems very excited. The Divine Hammer Tao image also seems very excited. It could be said that the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer and the Divine Hammer Tao image are in perfect harmony. Chapter 2343. The last time Feng Yu gave Qin Yun pills was a few days ago. She had previously said that Yu Shang Yun would continuously send Sacred Tao Dan to Qin Yun. Qin Yun had just come out of seclusion when he learned that Feng Yu was coming. This was what Xiao Yuelan said. Not long ago, she had contacted the Guanghan Palace and asked if Yu Shang Yun was willing to cooperate with Qin Yun. Yu Shang Yun did not reply, because she still did not know the situation with Zhu Shenyang. She had also said that the Mystic Moon Clan would think of a way to understand the situation of the Nine Heavens Divine Clan before discussing the matter of cooperation. Qin Yun still had 2 sacred Tao divine pills in his hands. They were refined by him, and their effects were similar to those refined by Yu Shang Yun. When Feng Yu came this time, it was the same as the last time. She was wearing a fiery red phoenix feather armor, but the difference was that she wasn't as reserved as the last time. Maybe it was because she had flirted with Qin Yun before she left, so the two of them could be considered to be very familiar. "Yulan is not here." Feng Yu walked into the hall. Her phoenix eyes were filled with a gentle light as she asked softly, "My wife isn't here. Are you secretly trying to seduce me?" Qin Yun said with a chuckle. Feng Yu casually sat down. An elegant and beautiful smile appeared on her handsome face as she said, "Palace King, do you know why I always wear this armor when I come here? Because on the way here, there might be a fight." Qin Yun guessed seriously, then said with a smile, "Could it be that you are guarding against me?" "I'm not afraid of you. I'm guarding against Yulan. She always says that my butt is easy to pinch." Feng Yu laughed. "Didn't she tell you about this?" Qin Yun cursed Xiao Yuelan inwardly. She actually did such a thing to the Divine Moon Clan's King Ju. Even he did not dare to think of such a thing. This wild girl. Qin Yun curled his lips and said. Feng Yu took out a jade bottle and handed it to Qin Yun. She said, "Sister Shang Yun gave this to you. Sage Dao Dan." When she said this, Feng Yu's tone seemed to be a little sour. Her charming phoenix eyes were filled with hidden bitterness. "Big Sister Xiang Yun is so good to you. She's been desperately helping you refine the Saint Tao Dan these past few days. I'm really jealous of you. I'm a little jealous." Does she have to risk her life to refine this kind of pill? Qin Yun is a little surprised. "I thought it would be easy for her to refine it. She needs to consume a lot of blood to refine it. In the past, she only refined 1 pill every few years. Now, she has to refine 1 pill every few days, so she has been bleeding for the past few days. When she gave the pill to me, she was still very weak." Feng Yu sighed. "Looks like she's really grateful to you. Go back and tell her not to send me pills so frequently. Her health is more important. The Divine Moon Clan needs her." Qin Yun took the jade bottle and suddenly felt his heart ache. She said that you need to quickly cultivate 10 sacred heaven Tao images and step into the Tao God realm as soon as possible. So she has to be fast. Feng Yu chuckled. "Palace King, if the Divine Moon race is in trouble, you won't ignore us, right? I will definitely help you." Qin Yun also took out a jade bottle and handed it to Feng Yu. He said with a smile, "This is for you." "What is it?" Feng Yu took it, opened the lid, and said in shock, "This is Sage Dao Dan." There were 2 Sage Dao Dan inside the bottle. Feng Yu had only given Qingyun one before. Adding the one just now, it was 2. And she also knew that Qingyun had eaten the pill from before and had cultivated the sacred heaven divine power. The pill she had just given Qingyun was still in another jade bottle on the table. In other words, the 2 Sage Dao Dan that Qingyun had given her had an unknown origin. "Who gave it to you?" Feng Yu looked at Qingyun, who was smiling in disbelief. "Who do you think would give it to me?" Qingyun said with a smile. "Is it Yuelon?" "No, I know very well how many Saint Dao Dan's sister Shangyun refined, because after she refined them, I was the one who distributed them. Furthermore, when she was about to finish the pill, I was always by her side." Feng Yu shook her head slightly and frowned as she looked at the 2 divine pills that were poured out. After sniffing, she said doubtfully, "This fragrance is wrong. It's not Sister Shangyun's," Qingyun said with a smile. "I refined this. I am unable to refine her innate fragrance." "You refined it." Feng Yu's beautiful face looked as if she had suddenly seen a ghost. "That's right, I refined it," Qingyun said with a smile. "Feng Yu, keep these 2 pills. Go back and ask the Divine Moon Clan's Emperor to give me another one to keep. In the future, I won't need her to give me any more." Feng Yu suddenly thought of something. She knew that Qingyun must have figured out the refining method based on the previous pill and then refined it in the past few days. To Feng Yu, this was too shocking. It could be said that there was only one Saint Dao Dan, and other than Yu Shangyun, no one else could refine it. Even if they wanted to imitate it, they would have to spend many years to study it, or they would need a large number of Saint Dao Dan as samples. And she had only given Qingyun one, and it was actually imitated. Feng Yu knew that Qingyun was very strong, but the current situation made her feel a deep fear towards Qingyun's strength. "Is it very easy to refine? I'll give you one, you give me 2 to bring back." Feng Yu was so shocked that she became somewhat incoherent. "My Dao image needs an opportunity to evolve, so even if I have a large number of Saint Dao divine pills, I won't be able to break through faster," Qingyun said with a smile. "Feng Yu, you can take it back in peace. Also, let the Divine Moon Clan's Emperor help me see if there are any flaws in the pill I refined." Feng Yu took a deep breath and asked, "Palace King, are you sure you want to let Sister Shangyu know about this?" "Oh, why can't I let her know?" Qingyun felt that it was somewhat strange. According to my understanding of her, when she finds out, she will definitely fly into a rage. She will think that you are challenging her. Feng Yu shook her head and smiled. "She is such a person. Well, I am sincerely asking her for advice." Qingyun said with an awkward smile, "Feng Yu, if it's not suitable, then forget it. You can keep it for yourself. I'll bring it back for her to see. Even if she's angry, she'll still be very interested in it." Feng Yu stood up and kept the jade bottle. "Feng Yu, do you know where the territory of the Divine Sword race is?" Qingyun asked. "I heard that the people from the Divine Sword race are still acting arrogantly everywhere, targeting the people of my Nine-Yang Divine Palace and the Nine-Yang Royal Family." Feng Yu took out a disc. "The pointer on the disc is a very small sword," she said. "This compass can lead you to the lair of the Divine Sword race. Palace King, although you are very strong, you still have to be careful." Thank you very much," Qingyun said with a smile. Qingyun sent Feng Yu out of the Nine-Yang Divine Palace. When he returned to the living room, he saw Xiao Yuelon sitting on a chair with her legs crossed. Her long, jade-white legs were exposed from her skirt. They are very alluring. "Xiao Yun, how are you and Sister Feng Yu progressing?" Xiao Yuelon giggled. "Nothing much, but you are quite amazing, making the Wind Moon Princess wear armor to prevent you from pinching her, but..." Qingyun scolded with a smile. "You haven't seen her before. She's really perky." Xiao Yuelon giggled. Qingyun told Xiao Yuelon about the pill he gave to Feng Yu. After Xiao Yuelon heard this, she smiled and patted Qingyun's butt. She said, "Xiao Yun, you're good, using this method to flirt with Sister Shangyun. You blockhead, you're finally enlightened." What nonsense are you talking about? I'm asking her for advice. Qin Yun pinched her face and said with a smile, I'm going out to deal with the divine sword race. Are you going? I'm not going. It's very boring to deal with those small fries. I'll stay here and help White Commander. Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. Qin Yun carried Xiao Yuelon and went to the room. He spent the night with her before leaving the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Qin Yun is inside the heaven-leaping shuttle. Through the compass phone you gave him, he headed towards the lair of the divine sword race. The little ant queen has already completed her evolution and turned into a snow-white fairy. She is as big as Momo. The difference is that although the little ant queen is cute, she has a bit of an imposing manner, like an empress. Of course, when she was playing with Momo and little Jade Rabbit, she was also heartlessly laughing. The little ant queen that came out of the divine universe, Purple Sun, has condensed a spatial divine power pearl even faster and stronger. Qin Yun doesn't need to use it sparingly now. He can travel through space. In less than half a day, he crossed a very long distance and is very close to the lair of the divine sword race. If he were to fly at normal speed, it would take at least 10 days to arrive at this area. After the formation of the Divine Desolate, those strong races occupied the best territory, and the Divine Sword Race is no exception. The territory occupied by the Divine Sword Race is called Sword Forest Desert. This area is a large desert with yellow sand flying everywhere. And in the desert, there are many sword mountains that are thousands of meters tall. Those sword mountains are like swords. They have all kinds of different shapes, colors, and sizes. More than half of the sword bodies are inserted into the desert. It is said that these sword mountains are naturally formed. There are a total of 100,000 of them. The sword mountains are like a forest. The reason why this is a good place is mainly because the sword mountains form a super strong formation. 100,000 sword mountains are like 100,000 array pillars. Moreover, they absorb the divine power of the myriad realms' divine sun. Even if the divine sword race doesn't have a clan emperor, a king, or a duke, they have this powerful sword forest great formation, which is enough for them to live a very comfortable life. The defense of this great formation is very strong. It can be said that it is very difficult to break through. When Qin Yun was in the sword hall, he heard from the sword cultivators in the sword hall that the other strong races were all eyeing the divine sword race. They wanted to seize this territory, but none of them succeeded. High up in the sky, there's a very large white jade gourd floating. Qin Yun stood on top of the white jade gourd and looked down at the sword forest desert. He sighed and said, this kind of natural formation is really powerful. Something created by heaven and earth is still very strong. Xiao Yun, do you think the Nine Heavens divine race will also set their sights on the divine sword race? Ling Yuner asked. It's very possible. Qin Yun looked at the myriad realms' divine sun in the sky and said, that Jiang Zhuchuan's ambition is not small. Then you have to hurry up and occupy this territory. Ling Yun has said, don't let the Nine Heavens divine race obtain it, otherwise their strength will increase by a lot. Chapter 23:44. Although God Desolate is very big, there are not many good treasure lands. This sword forest desert was a very hard to come by top-notch treasure ground. When Divine Sword Race occupied this treasure land, other powerful races were very unhappy. Now, Divine Sword Race's clan emperor is dead, king and duke are also gone. It is impossible for other powerful races not to have their eyes on this treasure land. Qin Yun is very familiar with the greed of those powerful races. This is an excellent holy land for cultivating sword Dao. Qin Yun carefully observed. He floated in the sky and looked down at the great formation formed by the 100,000 sword mountains. He could feel a very strong sword aura. The sword aura is still in a dormant state and has not erupted. It is as if something is suppressing the sword aura or deliberately restraining it. This place is strange, Qin Yun said in his heart. Yuner, come out and take a look. Maybe you can sense something. Qin Yun used his heavenly eye to carefully observe. Because the great formation has a barrier, even his heavenly eye cannot penetrate it. Ling Yuner is different. She can sense the existence of spirit bodies. Let me take a look. Ling Yuner came out of Qin Yun's illusory space. She is wearing a snow-white long dress, covering her perfect long legs, only revealing a pair of beautiful jade feet. After she came out, she very seriously looked at the sword forest desert below. She is beautiful and charming. Now that she is serious, coupled with her Leda-like attire, it makes her look very different from before. Qin Yun looked at her from the side and secretly praised in his heart. Then he can't help but kiss her beautiful face. Yuner, you're so beautiful. You're different from before, Qin Yun said with a smile. After being nourished by a man, naturally, it is different. Ling Yuner chuckled and said, Xiao Yun, who are we? Don't be so mushy. Qin Yun held her lily-white hand and gently rubbed it. He did not disturb her from observing the sword forest desert. Not long after, Ling Yuner also discovered something and said, Xiao Yun, there's a very powerful soul inside. Powerful soul? Qin Yun did not see it. I don't know the specifics. I feel that it might be the soul of this formation. Ling Yuner said, I tried to communicate with this soul, but I didn't succeed. Qin Yun nodded. No matter what, this place is very suitable for cultivating Sword Dao. If I can take it and hand it over to Sword Hall, they will definitely become stronger. If Boss Xiao is here, maybe he could find more. Ling Yuner said. The Divine Court of Myriad Realms has their own business to attend to. It seems to be an important matter. The reason why the Chief Divine Judge didn't call me is probably because he doesn't want to disturb me. Qin Yun looked around and pointed in a direction. There's a small city over there. I will go take a look. Then I'm going back. Ling Yuner said with a playful smile, You just kissed me secretly. I want to kiss you back. Ling Yuner hugged Qin Yun and kissed his face. Then she returned to Qin Yun's illusory space and entered the holy tribulation gate. Qin Yun breathed in a mouthful of Ling Yun's lingering fragrance and cannot help but feel relaxed and happy. He felt that Ling Yun's body fragrance has changed a lot. It is actually a bit similar to Yushang Yun's. He is wearing simple gray clothes, his hair is somewhat messy, his body has a kind of wind and frost feeling. It looks like he rushed here for a long time. This also added a bit of tiredness to his handsome face. He deliberately dressed like this so that he won't appear too conspicuous. Qin Yun entered the small city. Just as he entered, his Divine King Heavenly Seal reacted weakly. He took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Under his control, the Divine King Heavenly Seal is a small thing. It won't have any big reaction. Qin Yun looked at the Divine King Heavenly Seal on his palm and realized that it can sense divine position gods nearby. The Divine King Heavenly Seal also changed along with Qin Yun. It can now sense divine position gods. As long as they approach the Divine King Heavenly Seal, it can sense them. Evil God and Dog God are currently in the Nine Yang Divine Palace, listening to the White Commander's command. Could it be that they came here? Qin Yun also told the little palace spirit that he wanted to come here. Xiao Yun, didn't the Myriad Realms Divine Palace gather all the gods? Ling Yuner said, Dog God, Evil God, and Hercules have all returned to the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. I didn't ask about that. Qin Yun only knows that Shimanda Zhuang and Hercules are doing well. After he obtained a direction through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, he stored the Heavenly Seal. After entering the city, Qin Yun walked through the streets and alleys. This small city can be considered lively, and all kinds of news are spreading. They are all about the annihilation of the clan emperors of the powerful races, as well as the matter of the Nine Heavens Divine Race above the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. In addition, the Divine Sword Race is still very arrogant, claiming that they will soon give birth to a powerful Divine Sword Race Emperor. This was said by the people of the Divine Sword Race, and the majority of the Divine Sword Race are hiding inside the barrier of the Sword Forest Desert. In this hot desert, everyone's spirit is extremely high. Many people came here mainly to enter the Divine Sword Race and obtain the Divine Sword Bloodline Divine Origin. And some of them are sword cultivators. They are cultivating Sword Dao in the vicinity. Qin Yun walked and stopped. He concentrated his mind and listened to all kinds of conversations in the streets and alleys, sifting through them to obtain useful information. The useful information at Qingyun is that a large group of people from the Divine Star race came here before, and they brought many stars with them. They stayed in the Sword Forest Desert for a while and then entered the Sword Forest Desert. Furthermore, the Primal Chaos Divine race also came here before. They brought a Primal Chaos Divine Sun that emitted intense, scorching gray energy and finally entered the Sword Forest Desert. The clan emperors of these three races are finished. They also know that they will be annexed by other powerful races, so they huddled together and joined the strongest of the three races, the Divine Sword race. This is also good. I will wipe them out in one go. It will save me the trouble of running around. Qingyun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal from time to time. He is looking for the divine position gods here. Not long after, he arrived at a 9-story tall wooden building. This wooden building is wrapped with many long vines and grass leaves. A lot of wind blew out from inside. After approaching this wooden building, there's a very cool and refreshing feeling. Imperial Wind Pavilion. Qingyun felt the cool and comfortable wind at the door and said with a frown, "It's the divine power of the wind god divine position." After the third myriad world's godly sun appeared, the desert became even hotter, and the building, which was wrapped in green vines and leaves, became especially lively. Many people who couldn't stand the heat ran in and stayed here or ordered a table of wine to cool down. The environment of the Imperial Wind Pavilion is extremely good, so the price is also extremely high. You have to pay sun god crystals to enter. It costs 3,000 sun god crystals per person. Qingyun doesn't have many sun god crystals in his hands, only tens of thousands of them. He doesn't need them, so he didn't get too many. After entering the Imperial Wind Pavilion, he is even more certain that the Wind God is here. Maybe the Wind God didn't report to the Myriad Realm's divine court. Qingyun secretly guessed. Some people who obtain divine position like to be alone and don't like those organizations, so they didn't report. Xiaoyun is the cool wind in the Imperial Wind Pavilion released by the Wind God? Lingyun asked. The Wind God always releases this kind of wind? Doesn't that mean he has to stay here day and night? Of course not. The Wind God only needs to make some divine power beads, and then release the Wind God's power inside the divine power beads through the formation. It's very simple. Through his senses, Qingyun confirmed that the Wind God is on the highest floor and then went straight to the 9th floor. The 1st to 8th floors are full of people, and they're also walking around casually. When entering the 9th floor, it is not possible. There's a door blocking, and there are 2 people guarding the door. The 9th floor is the residence of the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master. It is not open to the public. A middle-aged man guarding the door said, "I have something to discuss with the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master, a big business deal." Qingyun said with a polite smile, "I'll have to trouble you two big brothers." The reason why the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master created this Imperial Wind Pavilion should be to earn sun god crystals. He can be considered as a businessman. It is best to use business as a reason to see the wind god. The 2 middle-aged men guarding the door looked at each other and nodded. One of the middle-aged men pushed open the thick golden door and came out after a while. "Please enter." The middle-aged man made an inviting gesture. Qingyun walked through the door. Just as he entered, he felt a burst of bone-penetrating cool and wonderful wind blowing over. This kind of feeling is indescribably wonderful. It is as if a burst of incomparably comfortable wind blew into his bone marrow while he is inside a stove. Inside is a hall. Inside the hall sits a woman wearing luxurious purple dress. Her appearance is also not bad. Her face is long and her chin is slightly sharp. Her expression is cold and arrogant. Although this purple-dressed woman is sitting on a chair, it can be seen that she is very tall. After she saw Qingyun come in, the corner of her eyes slightly moved and glanced at Qingyun. Seeing that Qingyun is slovenly and his clothes are also very ordinary, she did not look at Qingyun. Instead, she looks somewhat unhappy. The purple-dressed woman is not the wind god. Apparently, she also came here to find the wind god. You also came to find the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master? Seeing that Qin Yun is not looking at her, the purple-dressed woman did not say anything and took the initiative to ask. In. Qin Yun came in and sat down. Then he closed his eyes with a calm and composed look. You came to pursue the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master, right? With your shabby appearance. How can the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master take a fancy to you? The purple-dressed woman said with sneer. Don't you know how high the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master status is? How can a mediocre person like you dip your fingers in it? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. He did not expect the Wind God to be a woman. Back when he was the king of gods, the Wind God was an old man, the kind that was very easy to talk to. Qin Yun did not take the purple-dressed woman's mocking and ridicule to heart. He has seen this kind of people many times and has beaten them many times. Before he is clear about the Wind God situation, he also does not want to cause trouble for the Wind God. If the Wind God is a person with bad character, he can only take back his god position. Sister, you are a guest. You are disrespecting my guest. I'm going to get angry. Suddenly a woman walked in. She is wearing white and red clothes. When she entered the hall, she brought along a light breeze. The woman's face is pale and colorless. She looks very haggard. Her jet black hair is also colorless, but her beauty has not decreased at all. Her body has a kind of elegant temperament that stands out from masses. Chapter 23:45. After Qin Yun sat down, he used his heavenly eye to look at the Wind God. His heavenly eye can penetrate other people's clothes and see the situation inside. However, he is not looking at the Wind God's body, but at her head. The Wind God looks so haggard. It is obvious that she has suffered some kind of injury. After some investigation, Qin Yun did not find a reason. The Wind God sat down and looked at the purple-dressed woman. He asked, Elder sister, you came to find me again. Is it still because of that matter? The purple-dressed woman glanced at Qin Yun and said with dissatisfaction, Little sister, let's not talk about your other identity. Just your current identity as the Imperial Wind Pavilion Master shouldn't be interacting with this kind of shady people. Elder sister, this is my guest. The Wind God's face revealed displeasure. Her haggard face suddenly became extremely gloomy, looking very scary. Luo Yaofeng, I came to find you for something, but you left this guy here. You clearly don't want to talk about that matter with me. The purple-dressed woman stood up angrily and glared at Qin Yun. Dai Jingji, I've already made it clear that I will never accept it. You can leave now. The gentle and quiet Luo Yaofeng suddenly became furious. The wind released from her body also carried a terrifying ice-cold, killing intent. You will regret it, Dai Jingji said with a sneer. You're about to die. You better think about whether or not you can live on. Leave. Luo Yaofeng pointed at the door and shouted coldly. Dai Jingji snorted coldly, then glared at Qin Yun fiercely. She angrily walked towards the door, kicked it open, and left angrily. Qin Yun hurriedly walked over and closed the door. He is actually very calm. Young master, I'm really sorry. I'll let you suffer. Luo Yaofeng smiled awkwardly, then bowed slightly and apologized to Qin Yun with a gentle voice filled with guilt. It's fine, I'm used to it, Qin Yun said with a smile. Imperial Wind Pavilion Master, quickly sit down. Your spirit doesn't look very good. Don't tire yourself. Luo Yaofeng sighed softly. After sitting down, she slowly raised her lily-white hand and rubbed her forehead. She closed her eyes as if she was relaxing her mind. Qin Yun only watched quietly, waiting for her to recover. Now, he could confirm that the person who obtained the deity seat of the Wind God was not an evil person. Thus, he could rest assured and did not need to take back the deity seat of the Wind God. After a while, Luo Yaofeng recovered a bit. Her eyes are somewhat tired as she asked in a soft voice, Young master, what big deal do you have to discuss with me? I urgently need sun god crystals. I hope you are sincere in making a deal with me. Imperial Wind Pavilion Master, to tell you the truth, I came here to find you because I sensed your wind god divine position. Qin Yun did not directly state his identity. Luo Yaofeng was slightly taken aback. Her beautiful eyes were suddenly filled with vigilance as she asked, "Young master, are you here to snatch the deity throne? God status? Why do you think so?" Qin Yun asked curiously. "Yun's why?" Qin Yun is Feng. Luo Yaofeng, who had become very vigilant, looked haggard and weak. However, the killing intent and ruthlessness in her body alarmed Qin Yun. It can be seen that Luo Yaofeng is not as weak as she looks. "Miss Luo, I'm not here to snatch the divine position. I just want to see what kind of person the person who obtained the wind god's divine position is." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. "You want to see if I'm strong or weak first, so you can decide if you want to snatch my divine position, right?" Luo Yaofeng's haggard face suddenly revealed a poignant smile. A short sword appeared in her jade-like hand. As she brandished her weapon, she looked at Qin Yun with a ruthless gaze that struck straight at Qin Yun's heart. In that instant, Qin Yun suddenly felt as if his soul is being stared at by something so strong. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. Just now, he was unable to see through Luo Yaofeng's cultivation. He could not even see through Dai Jingji's cultivation. "It seems like you really just want to look at me." Luo Yaofeng stared at Qin Yun for a while before her body suddenly relaxed. The short sword in her hand also disappeared. Her threatening aura from before also disappeared in an instant. She rubbed her forehead and said, "Now that you've seen me, you can leave." "Miss Luo, you said that you urgently need the sun god crystal to heal your injuries?" Qin Yun asked. Luo Yaofeng glanced at Qin Yun and replied softly, "Why do you need the sun god crystal?" Qin Yun stood up and walked over. He said, "Can you let me check your body?" Luo Yaofeng had already let down her guard because she could tell that Qin Yun did not have any ill intentions. She was also very curious about Qin Yun's identity. The reason why she did not ask further was because she was too tired and did not want to. She slowly placed her hand on the table beside her. Qin Yun used 2 fingers to gently tap on her wrist to probe the situation in her body. Just as he probed, his entire body trembled. Luo Yaofeng's body has a very strong heavenly blood. That kind of heavenly blood is very blue, a deep blue color. That is an extremely strong heavenly blood. "Your heavenly blood is very strong," Qin Yun exclaimed. "So what? No matter how strong my heavenly blood is, I'm still like this." Luo Yaofeng sighed faintly. Qin Yun continued probing and said with a frown, "I can't figure out the reason for the time being. Miss Luo, do you know the condition of your body?" "I'm not sure either. I only know that I need a large number of sun god crystals to maintain it." Luo Yaofeng sighed softly. "I also want to understand the situation. Luo Yaofeng is very mysterious. She has a very strong heavenly blood, but now she is very haggard. The heavenly blood in her body also seems to be malnourished. It has become lifeless and devoid of any vitality. But even so, Luo Yaofeng is still very strong." Qin Yun never expected that when he came to take care of the divine sword race, he would encounter such a strange thing. "I might be able to investigate your situation, but it might offend you," Qin Yun said. "How do you want to investigate?" Luo Yaofeng slowly opened her eyes and looked at Qin Yun. Her lifeless eyes were dim. Qin Yun extended 2 fingers and said, "Can I point at your heart?" "Come on." Luo Yaofeng's weak voice sounded like she was sighing. Qin Yun immediately placed his finger on Luo Yaofeng's chest and injected his powerful mental power into her heart to investigate. After a series of probing, Qin Yun was shocked to discover that Luo Yaofeng was unable to directly absorb the divine power of the myriad realms' divine sun. He finally understood why Luo Yaofeng was so weak. It was mainly because she could not replenish her energy. Her body was very weak and her spirit was dispirited. She could only absorb a little bit of energy from the sun god crystal to maintain herself. In short, her illness was caused by hunger. Generally speaking, the living beings in the divine desolate could quickly recover by absorbing the divine power of the myriad realms' divine sun and divine moon floating in the air. They didn't even need to eat. Of course, if they ate some good divine fruits or the flesh and blood of divine beasts, their recovery speed would be even faster. Qin Yun immediately extracted the blue heavenly divine power from the heavenly universe divine sun and injected it directly into Luo Yaofeng's heart. Luo Yaofeng's heart previously seemed to have dried up. After absorbing the heavenly universe divine power, it immediately became active. It quickly absorbed the heavenly universe divine power that Qin Yun injected into it and transmitted it to every part of her body along with the heartbeat. Her dark blue heavenly blood was also releasing a weak blue glow at this moment. Luo Yaofeng, whose eyes were half opened, slowly opened them and looked at Qin Yun with some joy. Her pale and haggard face gradually recovered its color, causing her beautiful face to suddenly become radiant and threatening, elegant and otherworldly. In just a moment, Luo Yaofeng became very spirited. She breathed slowly and looked at Qin Yun in front of her like an orchid. Her beautiful eyes shone with extraordinary splendor as they flickered with joy and pleasant surprise. "Young master, thank you." Luo Yaofeng smiled like a flower and said gently, "You're welcome. Your situation is very special. I can only help you recover temporarily." Qin Yun said, "Young master, who exactly are you? You seem to be very strong." After Luo Yaofeng recovered, her curiosity was ignited. "I am the king of gods," Qin Yun said with a smile. "You should have heard of me, right?" "Ah. King of gods, you really dare to say that." Luo Yaofeng covered her mouth and said with a chuckle, "If you were to say that above the 9 heavens, you would be beaten to death." "Above the 9 heavens? You came from above the 9 heavens?" Qin Yun widened his eyes in shock. "Yes, I've been here for a long time, but I rarely go out. I've always been here and had people help me collect sun god crystals." Luo Yaofeng nodded. Qin Yun never expected that the wind god's divine position would be obtained by someone from above the 9 heavens. He recalled the powerful purple-dressed woman, Dai Jingji. She seemed to be the same kind of person as Luo Yaofeng. The people Qin Yun had killed before were all very strong people from the 9 heavens divine race, and their heavenly blood was about the same as Luo Yaofeng's. Therefore, he could deduce that Luo Yaofeng's strength was about the same as Elder Zhao's. "Young master, why do you say that you are the king of gods?" Luo Yaofeng asked. At this moment, she became lively. "Because I was born to be a king," Qin Yun said with a mischievous smile. He is still channeling the power of the heavenly universe divine sun into Luo Yaofeng. "You control the power of the heavens. You do indeed have the potential to become a god king," Luo Yaofeng said with a chuckle. "For the time being, I will acknowledge you as a god king. Why did you come here from above the 9 heavens? After you came here, you became very weak, right?" Qin Yun asked. "I don't know why I'm so weak. I'm tired of living above the 9 heavens. I heard that there's a new world here that's filled with light. I want to come and take a look, so I came with a group of people," Luo Yaofeng said. "It's indeed not bad, much better than above the 9 heavens. There was a mysterious great formation formed by the 100,000 Sword Mountains, and Luo Yaofeng had always been here. He even said that he came from above the 9 heavens with a large group of people." Chapter 2346. "Miss Luo, how many of you came here? How did you all come here?" Qin Yun saw that Luo Yaofeng was not wary of him and promptly asked. Originally, it was not convenient to ask about this matter because it was a great secret to the 9 Heavens God clan. It's that great formation, a great formation formed by many sword mountains. Luo Yaofeng pointed in a direction. Although they could not see outside from the hall, the direction she pointed in was the Sword Forest Mountain Peak. This was the same as Qin Yun's previous guess. The Sword Forest Mountain Peak was actually transformed into a transmission array. The Sword Forest Mountain Peak only appeared after the formation of the Heavens Divine Desolate and was later occupied by the Divine Sword Clan. In other words, Luo Yaofeng came here not long after the formation of the Heavens Divine Desolate. And before that, there was another passage from the nine heavens to the divine world. For example, those powerful clans came from the nine heavens many years ago. The nine heavens god clan inside the ancestral god sun has also been here for a long time. Qin Yun now understands why the divine sword clan, primal chaos race, and divine star clan are so close to Elder Zhao and the others. It turns out that they have been working together since a long time ago. We all came here from the nine heavens. Why are you the only one who is not used to it? Qin Yun asked. At this moment, he also poured enough Empyrean divine power into Luo Yaofeng's body. Luo Yaofeng shook her head. I don't know either. Only a few people have this kind of situation. The others are already dead. Only I can hold on until now. If we return to the nine heavens, we can recover, but we don't want to go back. Why don't you want to go back? Qin Yun never expected that there would be people who would rather die than return to the mysterious nine heavens. Because if we go back, it's very likely that we will suffer a fate worse than death. Luo Yaofeng lightly sighed, some fear appearing in her eyes. The mysterious nine heavens is far more terrifying than Qin Yun imagined. Previously, after obtaining the memories of the three-eyed king, Qin Yun roughly understood. Seeing Luo Yaofeng so afraid of the nine heavens, Qin Yun became even more worried. If many people came from the nine heavens, the heavens divine desolate might become like that. Brother Yun, thank you for helping me. After coming to this divine world, this is the first time I feel so energetic. Luo Yaofeng looked at Qin Yun gratefully and smiled sweetly. You're welcome. How about this? You follow me for a while. I'll figure out the situation in your body and then help you completely solve this strange disease. Qin Yun said. He felt that Luo Yaofeng wasn't a simple person. By being with her, he could learn more about the nine heavens through her. Can I really follow you? Luo Yaofeng smiled happily. That's great. I thought I could only stay awake for a while. Brother Yun, I'm really grateful to you. Qin Yun was overjoyed to see Luo Yaofeng. He enjoyed the process of helping others. Luo Yaofeng's beautiful face was no longer pale and haggard. Instead, there was only happiness and a smile. She was now in a very good mood and hurried into the room. She changed into a red dress, which made her look even more lively and gorgeous. Qin Yun looked at Luo Yaofeng and sensed a very strange feeling from her. He couldn't tell what kind of feeling it was, but it also gave her a different kind of temperament and charm. Luo Yaofeng is gentle and dignified. She has a pure heart, but she also has the innocence and liveliness of a young girl. Especially her current appearance. She is so happy that she's like a child, almost jumping up and down. Brother Yin, I want to go out for a walk. I haven't taken a good look around since I came to the divine world. Luo Yaofeng smiled and pulled Qin Yun's hand. Want to pull him out. Then what about your Imperial Wind Pavilion? Qin Yun said with smile. No, with Big Brother Yun's help, I don't need to find that annoying sun divine crystal anymore. Luo Yaofeng smiled sweetly. Big Brother Yun, you won't find me annoying, right? I won't. Qin Yun gently smiled and said, Let's go. Just as they were about to leave, Qin Yun sensed that there are many people outside the door. Bang! Someone kicked open the door with great force. The two middle-aged men guarding the door were beaten black and blue. They were seriously injured and were kicked in with great force. The person who came in is Dai Jingji, who left in anger earlier. She brought in 2 men and 1 woman. They all have overbearing appearance. Their faces are filled with ferocity and insolence. Dai Jingji, what are you doing? Luo Yaofeng's face that was filled with sweet smile suddenly turned frosty. Her beautiful eyes are filled with murderous intent. She looked at Dai Jingji. She was originally holding Qin Yun's hand, but because she was very angry, she used quite a bit of strength to hold Qin Yun's hand, causing Qin Yun to feel some pain. Qin Yun did not blame Luo Yaofeng. Instead, he is very shocked. He cultivated heavenly body, but he was actually hurt by Luo Yaofeng's grip. Luo Yaofeng also realized that she was unable to control her emotions. Her beautiful eyes that are filled with murderous intent immediately became filled with shame as she looked at Qin Yun. Dai Jingji is about to explode because she saw Qin Yun and Luo Yaofeng holding hands. Luo Yaofeng, you. What is your relationship with this guy? Dai Jingji shouted in exasperation. He is my friend, Luo Yaofeng coldly said. Qin Yun promptly helped the two injured middle-aged men up and let them sit on chairs. Then he began treating their injuries. Luo Yaofeng is very kind in her heart. She is also very protective of her own people. Seeing her subordinates being injured, she is naturally very angry. Princess, how can you fall in love with a fool in this kind of lowly divine world? A man angrily said. Then he furiously glared at Qin Yun and took out his divine saber, looking like he wants to kill Qin Yun. Qin Yun, who is currently treating the two injured middle-aged men, is secretly shocked when he found out that Luo Yaofeng is a princess. Earlier, he learned from Dai Jingji and Luo Yaofeng's conversation that Luo Yaofeng's identity is not simple. I can find whoever I want. What does it have to do with you? A short sword appeared in Luo Yaofeng's hand. Following that, a very strong, ruthless aura surged out. She said in a deep voice, "If you don't want to force me to kill, then quickly scram." Dai Jingji looked at Qin Yun, gnashed her teeth, and said, "You wretched lowly man, you better stay away from Luo Yaofeng. Otherwise, even if we don't kill you, there will be many people who will. Let's go." A man coldly groaned and said, "Go." Qin Yun suddenly shouted and said with sneer, "You injured these two big brothers, and you want to leave just like that? You still want us to stay?" Dai Jingji ridiculed. Qin Yun raised his hand and shot a small black saber at Dai Jingji. Dai Jingji furiously roared. A purple energy shield appeared on her body and blocked Qin Yun's small black saber. Qin Yun is secretly shocked. He did not expect Dai Jingji to be able to block his attack. There are 4 people on Dai Jingji's side, 1 woman and 2 men. At this moment, all of them have entered battle mode. Extremely strong divine power aura surged out of their bodies. 4 divine power surged out and surged towards Qin Yun, accompanied by extremely strong mental power. They want to use their divine power and mental power to attack Qin Yun. Luo Yaofeng took a step forward and arrived in front of Qin Yun. Her red skirt fluttered and blue energy surged out. Along with the whistling sound of wind, she charged towards the 4 divine power. In just an instant, the 4 divine power released by Dai Jingji and the others dissipated like smoke in thin air. There was not even the slightest ripple. It can be seen that Luo Yaofeng's divine power is very strange. It can directly dissipate Dai Jingji and the others' divine power. You recovered? Dai Jingji retreated a few steps in shock. Just now, she discovered that Luo Yaofeng's complexion is not bad. She was also puzzled, but she did not take it to heart. But now that she saw Luo Yaofeng make a move, she knows that Luo Yaofeng has completely recovered. She suddenly realized that Qin Yun must have helped her recover. "It was brother A Yun who helped me recover," Luo Yaofeng coldly said. "You beat up my people and want to kill brother A Yun, then I won't be polite." Just as she finished speaking, Dai Jingji and the others took out a talisman. They activated the talisman in their hands, and immediately a very strong spatial wave rushed out. Luo Yaofeng hastily released her divine power to block the advancing spatial wave to prevent Qin Yun and the 2 middle-aged men from being injured. After the spatial wave disappeared, Dai Jingji and the others also ran away. It can be seen that they are afraid of being killed by Luo Yaofeng. Qin Yun thought that Luo Yaofeng is a gentle and naive girl, but now that he thought about it, a person who can survive in the 9 heavens is definitely not simple. Maybe Luo Yaofeng is gentle and naive, but in the cruel environment of the 9 heavens, she had no choice but to hide her gentle and naive side in order to survive. The 2 middle-aged men are more or less cured by Qin Yun. Luo Yaofeng also told the 2 middle-aged men that from today onwards, the Imperial Wind Pavilion will be completely disbanded. After arranging everything, Luo Yaofeng and Qin Yun left the Imperial Wind Pavilion. She has a large carriage. It is floating in the air, and slowly flying on the streets of the small city. Brother Ayun, was I too scary just now? Luo Yaofeng sat beside the window. Her lily-white hands supported her cheeks as she looked at the scenery outside the window. She asked in a soft voice, "If you don't scare people, they will eat you." Qinyan feels that this is very normal. These words touched Luo Yaofeng. Her delicate body trembled as she muttered, "Eating people. In the 9 heavens, people eat people, and it is a very normal thing. Is there such a thing as eating people in the divine world?" Luo Yaofeng is not familiar with the divine desolate land. Yes, this kind of people are called evil devils. Even if they become very strong, there will be a day when they will be punished by the heavens. Qin Yun said, "There are also many such people, but everyone will join hands to kill them." Brother Ayun, people who come from the 9 heavens won't be punished by the heavens if they eat people here. Luo Yaofeng let out a long sigh and said, "This is what Dai Jingji told me." "Has she eaten before?" Qin Yun calmly asked. "I asked her. She said no, but I don't believe her, because in the 9 heavens she ate before." Luo Yaofeng said, "Then have you eaten before?" Qin Yun asked again. Chapter 23:47. Brother Ayun, those people are too strong. You won't be able to punish them. Luo Yaofeng shook his head. "It's best if you avoid them." Qin Yun can still see the gigantic sword mountains not far away from the small city. Every sword mountain is extremely tall. It's hard not to see them, especially now, under the illumination of the myriad realms' divine sun. The sword mountain flickered with a golden radiance. Even at night, it released a strong afterglow. Qin Yun had previously attempted to break through the barrier outside the array. It was very difficult, unless he used a lot of power, but even so, it would still take a very long time and a very big commotion. And at that time, it would definitely alarm a lot of people. For example, Dai Jingji and the others from before, their strength was not weak. When he was in the Imperial Wind Pavilion, Qin Yun originally wanted to fight with them to see how strong they were, but they ran too fast. Qin Yun felt that inside the Sword Forest Desert, there were not only people from the Divine Sword race, Divine Star race, and Primal Chaos race. There might even be another group of people from the 9 Heavens Divine race. That group of people from the 9 Heavens Divine race is most likely from Elder Zhao's faction. Elder Zhao was able to suppress Jiang Jiuquan previously and obtained a lot of authority. He was able to control the myriad realms' divine sun and create the heavenly universe Divine Sunday. It could be seen that Elder Zhao's faction was very strong and could even suppress the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor. Only now did Qin Yun realize that the interior of the gigantic sword formation was not simple. The people from the Divine Sword race had previously said that they would be able to produce a very strong race emperor very quickly. From this, it could be seen that this was not the case. Thinking of this, Qin Yun began to suspect that the new race emperor of the Divine Sword race might very well come from the 9 heavens. Jiang Jiuquan led the other strong races and made them join the 9 heavens divine race and listen to his orders. As for the sect behind Elder Zhao, although their vitality was greatly injured, they still had the backing of the Divine Sword race's great formation. They could still fight. The 9 heavens divine race behind Elder Zhao is also gathering resources. They let the Primal Chaos race move the Primal Chaos Divine Sun over, and then let the Divine Star race bring their clan stars over. Furthermore, this group of people can even call for help from the 9 heavens. The more Qin Yun thought about it, the more he felt that the situation was serious, because there was a group of 9 heavens divine race people secretly storing up power. Once they were ready, they would definitely make a large-scale operation. Just as Luo Yaofeng was worried, there might be a large number of people from the 9 heavens divine race invading the God Wasteland. "Miss Luo, how can we enter inside?" Qin Yun sat next to the window of the carriage, looked at the sword mountains, and asked. Luo Yaofeng came out from there. She might have a way. "Big brother Yun, are you going in?" Luo Yaofeng frowned slightly. When she was with Qin Yun, she looked gentle and innocent but she came from the 9 heavens after all. She knew that Qin was no ordinary person. My enemies are inside. I want to go in and exterminate them. Qin said, Are you really not afraid of them? Luo Yaofeng knew that Qin was very strong, but she was worried about him. Don't worry. Qin faintly smiled. If I knew that Dai Jingji and the others had that kind of talisman, I would have guarded against them in advance and wouldn't have let them run away. Luo Yaofeng's beautiful eyes flickered. Looking at the 100,000 Sword Mountain, she said, Dai Jingji and the rest are inside the Great Formation. She told me before that there are quite a few people coming from the 9 heavens. She told me the names of those people, and from the looks of it, they are all disciples of some prominent powers. Qin finally understood Luo Yaofeng's worries. A group of young masters from large powers had come. Do they all eat people? Qin asked. That's why I'm very worried. Luo Yaofeng nodded and sighed. Dai Jingji also said that they have a way to cure my illness, but I have to agree to their conditions. What conditions? Qin felt that it was impossible for Luo Yaofeng to marry someone or something like that. Because Luo Yaofeng was talking about them. She was a woman. It was impossible for her to marry so many people. Marry them, Luo Yaofeng said. I can't agree to them. They are not worthy of me. This caused Qin's eyes to widen. After the shock, he hurriedly said, Wait, marry who? Marry them? Qin never expected that the 9 heavens would have such a custom. It's to marry them and give birth to their children. Then, they will take away the children. The children with good talent will be nurtured by them. If their talent is poor, they will be eaten by them. Luo Yaofeng spoke very calmly. It could be seen that she is not surprised by this kind of thing. As for Qin's heart, he has suffered a great blow. He finally understood why people who understood the 9 heavens said that the 9 heavens was hell. No wonder some people would not return to the 9 heavens, even if they died. That kind of place was simply an evil place that distorted human nature. This kind of thing is very normal in the 9 heavens. They only look at bloodline. I have a good bloodline and can give birth to a very good baby, Luo Yaofeng said. God Desolate is so big, this kind of deranged thing does happen, but it's definitely not a lot. Furthermore, it's not a normal thing. Qin shook his head and said, What kind of place is the 9 heavens? In the 9 heavens, in order to pursue power, one can do anything. No matter what method one uses, as long as one can become stronger, it is normal and reasonable. After possessing great power, one can do whatever they want. No matter what they do, no one will punish them. Luo Yaofeng kept looking out the window. She felt that everything in the God Desolate was beautiful. But you are different from them. In the 9 heavens, there should be a lot of people who have some humanity. Qin said, If you don't have enough strength, you will just be food, waiting to be slaughtered and eaten. Luo Yaofeng said, It's because I have a good background that I was able to survive. Luo Yaofeng is a princess, and she is so powerful. This means that her parents are definitely not weak. Dai Jingji and the others must be eating people. Those fellows want to kill me, so I can't let them go. I want to enter that great formation. Qin said, Brother Yun, if you want to go in, you have to listen to my arrangements. Luo Yaofeng smiled mischievously. I'm willing to bring you in and guarantee your safety. All right, I'll listen to you. Qin nodded. Luo Yaofeng immediately controlled her carriage and flew out of the small city towards the 100,000 Sword Mountain. The 100,000 Sword Mountain is like a large golden desert. Every sword mountain is separated by about 10,000 meters. Therefore, the 100,000 Sword Mountain occupies a very large area of the desert and is also named the Sword Forest Desert. The interior of the Sword Forest Desert is incomparably spacious, and no one can approach the center. Even if they fly from high up in the sky, they would feel uncomfortable from the sword formation's imposing aura. At this moment, near the center of the Sword Forest Desert, there is a table in the desert. The blood on the table has already dried up, and there are many bloody clothes on the ground. There are 2 men and 2 women, all of them holding a small bucket and drinking the blood from the bucket. They're Dai Jingji and the others who were scared away by Luo Yaofeng in the Imperial Wind Pavilion. The people of the God Desolate are just like that. There are too many weak fellows. There's no nutrition at all. A man complained. The man beside Luo Yaofeng must taste pretty good. He looks pretty strong. A woman's mouth is full of blood. Her eyes are filled with ruthlessness. Her appearance is extremely frightening. Dai Jingji wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, licked her lips, and cursed in low voice. That stupid girl Luo Yaofeng. She has never tasted human flesh in the 9 heavens for so many years. She has truly lived in vain. No wonder she is so stupid. No wonder she suffered from a strange disease after coming to the God Desolate. What a pity such a good princess was taken by a stupid person from the God Desolate. After a man finished speaking, he vigorously smashed the bucket filled with blood with a palm strike. He looks very angry and jealous. I want that stupid person to die a horrible death. Another man is also seething with anger. Dai Jingji said with sneer, I'm afraid it's not your turn to make a move. The 9 heavens 10 emperors have all sent their princes over. They are here for Luo Yaofeng. 10 emperors' princes? The woman cried out in alarm and immediately pulled Dai Jingji's arm. She winked and said with smile, Big sister Dai, help me introduce a prince to me. Sleep? He Hongjiao. Aren't you afraid that they will eat you? Dai Jingji played with the ends of her long hair and smiled seductively. It wasn't easy for me to climb into a prince's bed. Hey, don't say this in front of us. We all know how unrestrained you are. The number of men you have slept with is probably more than the number of people we have eaten. How could those princes like you? A man said with sneer. Just as he finished speaking, his head was pierced by He Hongjiao's sword. Dai Jingji also promptly took action and joined hands with He Hongjiao to kill the other man. Hongjiao, you're pretty fast. Dai Jingji licked her lips and said with an evil smile, Come, let's enjoy a feast. I will definitely do my best to bring you to the prince's bed. Thank you, big sister. He Hongjiao laughed sinisterly. Hongjiao, don't be discouraged if you can't sleep with a prince. I will introduce a few geniuses from Ancestor God's Son to you. They are from Jiang Juchuan's side. Dai Jingji said with smile. Jiang Juchuan? Isn't that the son of the 9 heavens, 3 great divine kings? He Hongjiao said in shock. The genius he nurtured is coming? And even though the 9 heavens 10 emperors are powerful, they're only rulers of one region. Even if they join forces, they can't defeat the 3 divine kings who have the inheritance of a divine king. Dai Jingji said, We better hook up with Jiang Jiuchuan and leave a way out for us. Big sister, which divine king's daughter is Luo Yaofeng? I don't even know the names of those divine kings. Which divine king is surnamed Luo? He Hongjiao asked while cutting a man's corpse. I don't know either. I only know that she is the daughter of a divine king. As for which divine king, I am still investigating. As for those princes, they have never seen Luo Yaofeng, so they don't know. Dai Jingji shook her head. She's also cutting a man's corpse. Chapter 2348. Qin Yun stood behind Luo Yaofeng. He had also changed his clothes. It was a set of black and red tight, fitting soft armor. It was very fitting to his body. At his waist, there was a long saber. Miss Luo, what's with this outfit? Its defense is quite strong. Qin Yun probed and discovered that there are many complicated runes carved on the inside of the clothes. These runes look a bit like heavenly runes. Moreover, the materials used to make these clothes are very high quality. If someone asks you, just say that you are the Divine King's Guard and are responsible for protecting me. Also, you have to call me Princess. Luo Yaofeng said, If we meet Dai Jingji and the rest, leave them to me. Don't make a sound. Qin Yun nodded and asked curiously, Princess, what are godly monarch guards? When Luo Yaofeng heard Qin Yun call her princess, she seemed rather happy. She said with a chuckle, There are 3 god kings in the 9 heavens, and they're all very powerful. This is mainly because the 9 heavens divine king heavenly seal was split into 3 parts and obtained by 3 people. None of them were willing to hand over the part in their hands, so it has always been in a deadlock. Hold on, Big Brother Yun. You said that you are the king of gods. It's fine to say it here, but it's very dangerous to say it in the 9 heavens. Back at the Divine Yang Peak, Elder Zhao had said that the godly king heavenly seal was extremely important. Only by grasping the God King heavenly seal could one become the strongest God King in the divine world. The 9 heavens also had a divine king heavenly seal, and it was split into 3 parts. Qin Yin also recalled that he had split the godly monarch heavenly seal into 3 parts to prevent it from falling into the hands of others. Princess, is your father a god king? Qin Yin asked. He did not find it strange. Don't ask so much. Luo Yaofeng laughed. When he was in the White Sun City of the Universe of Heaven, he learned from City Lord Bai's son, Bai Xia, that Bai Suxin was the daughter of the White Sun God Realm's White Sun God King. The White Sun God Realm also had 3 God Kings. Qin Yun suspected that the White Sun Divine World's godly monarch heavenly seal was also split into 3 parts. Perhaps most of the God World's God King heavenly seals were split into 3 parts. The God Kings of the other divine worlds might not even have a complete God King heavenly seal. Qin Yun, who was in the Gods Desolate, had a complete godly king heavenly seal. It's no wonder Elder Zhao and company wanted it so badly. If he had the God King heavenly seal, he would be the only God King in the divine wilderness in the future. They were even stronger than the God Kings of the other God realms. At that time, if he could go to other God worlds, he might be able to suppress other God Kings and obtain their God King heavenly seals. Princess, what do we get in now? Qin Yin looked at the sky. It was already late. The 3 myriad worlds' divine suns were about to descend the mountain, emitting a golden red sunset glow. I contacted someone earlier and asked him to come out and bring me in, Luo Yaofeng said in a low voice. Try not to talk too much when you see others. At this moment, a figure appeared in the barrier. Qin Yin looked over and saw a handsome white-clothed youth walking over quickly. Clearly, Luo Yaofeng had used some sort of method to contact this youth. The white-clothed man walked out of the enchantment easily. When he saw Luo Yaofeng, he bowed slightly and said, Senior, you're finally here? Junior Jiang Daliang is Jiang Zhuchuan's eldest son. Qin Yun is alarmed. He previously felt that Jiang Daliang looked a bit like Jiang Zhuchuan. So he is Jiang Zhuchuan's son. What makes him feel strange is, why is Jiang Zhuchuan's son in the Sword Forest Desert? He can even come and go freely. Furthermore, Jiang Zhuchuan's son calls Luo Yaofeng Sr. In that case, Jiang Zhuchuan and Luo Yaofeng are of the same generation. How's your father recently? After I came here, I only saw him twice. Because of my body, I have been cultivating in seclusion for many years. Luo Yaofeng no longer has that gentle and charming appearance from before. Instead, she has a rather cold and arrogant attitude. Clearly, this is a deliberate act of hers. In front of these people, she pretended to be like this. It could be considered a kind of self-protection. Father is doing very well. He can now be considered the 9 heavens divine desolate, 9 heavens divine race's clan king. After Elder Zhao died, Father's power increased with each passing day. If Senior has time, you can go to the ancestral godson and have a chat with Father. Jiang Daliang glanced at Qin Yun from the corner of his eyes. He is also very curious about Qin Yun. Elder Zhao is actually dead. Luo Yaofeng is very astonished. I remember that he was the younger brother of a god king. How did he die? It's a long story, Jiang Daliang said. Luo Yaofeng waved her hand and said, Don't talk about it first. Bring me in. Jiang Daliang looked at Qin Yun and said, This is a god king's guard? Luo Yaofeng nodded. I found him in the God Desolate. His strength is not bad. He is trustworthy and can help me stabilize that strange illness. Senior, your condition has improved. That's great. If Father knew, he would definitely be very happy. Jiang Daliang nodded and said, Jiang Daliang is very suspicious of Qin Yun's strength because he can only see that Qin Yun is a sacred god. In his eyes, a sacred god is not qualified to be a god king's guard. Although he has doubts, Zhang Daliang does not dare to ask. He took out a token and activated it to release energy to open the barrier. You have already taken control of this formation? Luo Yao Feng asked. Not completely. There are a few sects that can barely grasp the method to enter and exit the formation freely. It's very difficult to completely control this formation unless one can subdue the erase spirit. Zhang Daliang quickly created a golden door. After Luo Yao Feng brought Qinyan in, he asked, "Has the erase spirit not been subdued yet?" "It's very difficult to subdue," Zhang Daliang said. "Senior, there are 3 princes already inside the formation. Do you want to meet them?" "No," Luo Yao Feng coldly rejected. "They are not worthy of being on equal footing with me. There are a few young genius sacred gods from strong races. They are now my father's subordinates. Many of the strong races in the God Desolate have merged with my father and become the new 9 heavens divine race." Zhang Daliang said, "They are also here to fight for the divine, young heavenly land." Qin Yin listened quietly from the side. When he heard that someone is also fighting for the divine, young heavenly land, he is secretly astonished. He does not know what the divine young heavenly land is, but he can tell that it is definitely something very important. "Little Jiang, then what do you mean?" When Luo Yao Feng heard the words divine, young heavenly land, her eyes flickered with extraordinary splendor. The 3rd divine sun has already appeared and will descend upon the divine, young heavenly land at the center of this formation. At that time, many people will come to fight for it. The older generation have already agreed not to take action, so only the younger generation can take action. Zhang Daliang said with some difficulty. "You think that because I'm from the older generation, I can't take action, right?" Luo Yao Feng said with a sneer. "If Senior wants to take action, I'm afraid you will be besieged by the other elders. This will make things very difficult for us." Zhang Daliang said, "Senior, this is the God Desolate, not the 9 heavens. Here, not everyone will give in to you. I don't need others to give in to me. I'm not afraid of being besieged." Luo Yao Feng's voice is very cold. One can feel her killing intent. Zhang Daliang's face is immediately covered in sweat. He immediately nodded and said, "Senior, this junior spoke too much just now. I want to go to the center." Luo Yao Feng said, "This place is very far from the center." Zhang Daliang pointed in a direction and said, "Senior, Junior has an important matter to discuss with my father. At that time, my father will also come here to watch the fight for the divine young heavenly land. You could go to the center by yourselves." "All right." Luo Yao Feng nodded. Junior will take his leave. Zhang Daliang walked out of the barrier and walked very quickly. After Zhang Daliang left, Luo Yao Feng let out a long sigh, then smiled at Qin Yun and said, "Brother Ayun, how was my performance just now? Did I feel like a princess?" "You don't feel like a little princess at all. I feel like you are a queen," Qin Yun said with a smile. Let's go to the center." Luo Yao Feng giggled, then took out a large carriage and entered the carriage with Qin Yun. After Qin Yun entered the carriage, he could not restrain his curiosity and asked, "Princess, who is Jiang Juchuan, the son of a divine king?" I have to say, that divine king was very far-sighted back then. He sensed that this god realm has great potential, so he sent his son here early on. Luo Yao Feng said, "Jiang Juchuan is the son of a divine king." This caused Qin Yun to be extremely apprehensive. At the same time, he secretly broke out in a sweat for himself. Jiang Juchuan came from a place like the 9 heavens, and he is the son of a divine king. He even tried a rope in Qin Yun before. This caused Qin Yun to feel a lingering fear. The son of a divine king must know very well how important a complete divine king heavenly seal is. It is impossible for Jiang Juchuan to not have any thoughts about Qin Yun's divine king heavenly seal. "What about those princes?" Qin Yun asked again. The 9 heavens is divided into 10 regions, each controlled by 10 heavenly emperors. Their strength is about the same as the three divine kings, but the three divine kings have a part of the divine king heavenly seal in their hands, so they can suppress those heavenly emperors. Luo Yaofeng stroked her beautiful long hair and said with light snort, "That Dai Jingji. She actually wants me to marry those lowly princes." Qin Yun can now confirm that Luo Yaofeng is the daughter of one of the divine kings. Your relationship with Dai Jingji is pretty good. He even called her big sister before. Qin Yun said, "She wants you to marry those princes. Why are you still calling her that?" "That's because I want to use her to do things for me. I know very well what kind of person she is. She thinks that it doesn't matter how many men she sleeps with. That's why she wants me to marry those princes." Luo Yaofeng sighed and said, "If not for brother A Yun helping me recover, I might have died in the Imperial Wind Pavilion." Luo Yaofeng is very scheming. Qin Yun is very sure of this point, otherwise she would not have used Dai Jingji. "Princess, what is that divine yang heavenly soil? Is it very important?" Qin Yun asked. "Very important. There's only a small amount of divine yang heavenly soil, but this kind of heavenly soil can grow on its own and then turn into a large area. It is very good for planting divine medicines. If we can obtain it and use it properly, we will be able to walk at the forefront of this new divine realm." Luo Yaofeng smiled sweetly. "I will snatch it and give it to you." You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.